happened. I was literally just on here, like, I went down with the dogs, gave them their treats, talking, and because sometimes this thing tells me that there's people here when there isn't, and then it tells me lies. But I thought I put the right thing on, but I didn't. I guess it must have been an unlisted video because I don't think anybody could see it. I went on to my other account and it was like upcoming. So, assuming that was what happened, I don't know, because there's sometimes people who sit here and don't say anything, and it doesn't always give me the right numbers when that's happening. All right, is that working?
I have a prediction for you for your
Is anybody here?
your assets. 2023 is going to be very, very.
All right, I can at least see me. And the other one that I tried, it was like I just saw 11111 across the board. It was 111, one person, one like I forget what I was saying now. Hi, Katie. The hell was I going to say? I don't know. My brain doesn't work normally. Oh, that was it. For some reason, it was like, usually when I come on here, it's like, tilt the device this way. So I always fight with it, like, because it will say tilt the device when I have it upright, and then I tilt it, and it's like, tilt the device. So I always go through that. This time, it was the opposite way. So I don't know what I did or what I clicked on, but it was set to just hit go live when I created the event. So I don't know what happened. Thank you. Hi, Spacebug. Just popped in and said hello. Whenever people do the capitals, I feel like they're yelling at me. Not yelling, just like, I don't know. What my big book, I was like, this like tells you really loudly because it's so big. It yells at you. It's good. I have a stand for it and everything because, like, it's way more fucking likely for me to, like, pay attention to this motherfucker. Like, this is my hand in the book. I'm like, when I got it, what do I want my life to be like? Because they have all these big, huge, like, personal growth parts, like your goals are these big, I don't know, it reminds me of, like, elementary school when they were like, here's a worksheet with 2 problems, and we just spaced it out with big font. Like, these are the areas that you write in about your stuff. But it just made me feel like it was always yelling at me, because, or that it's big impact. Big impact book. Every month you have a review. And this is coming out of the other one I had, which is a little tiny one. So it's contrast. Hopefully I'll fucking see it. I don't even know where the other one is. What did I do with you? Okay. Stop, city lady mama. Why do you always be weird when I'm doing this? This one was what I had, and this one is another one I got recently. Didn't know it was that fucking small. So now I have that one's last year. But now that big one, I feel is like, yeah. I'm a weirdo with them. Oh goodness. Hello. Hello from Portugal. Hello, kisses. Hello, hi everybody. So I know I didn't really tell anybody I was doing this. Like I didn't. I was like, I'm probably gonna go live. I don't know where, what time, because there's so many places and there's so many times. But people voted on Instagram to do YouTube out of Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and then out of the two YouTubes, they chose this one. I have some journals to organize soon. Yeah. Bye, Spacebug. Thank you. I will talk to you soon. I hope you're doing okay. I don't think anybody that's spiritual is like really like okay, but we're all right. We're just like Could be better. It's been better. We've had better times. Yeah, these can help. When I first started off doing readings and stuff online, I kept it very simple. I just printed out a page of a like blank thing that I filled in every month. So I'd be like January, and it was the squares for your calendar, and then I would keep a list and be like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, doing these people, these people, these people, these people, and I stayed on it. Then I went into the freedom of like do nothing, like, but I didn't. It wasn't that. It was like I was dying, and I had no choice but to die. I died in my bed for like a fucking year. Most I could do was get a rail like hanging over the edge of the bed, and that was all that I did. But I rode the wave of energy of all that consistency and all of that work, like monetarily. The stuff stayed consistent enough to survive. But I need to get back to it. That's why I bought that big ass one, because the big ass one is like, you cannot ignore me, as well as you can ignore something like this. But I like this one because this one had the little spots so you could do something every day, like your affirmations, what you're grateful for, something to make a fucking difference in your life that you do every single day. And it's cool because you can look back next year and be like, oh yeah, that was that day, and that was that thing, and that, blah, blah, blah. Just little notes. This is how I changed my life, like, to the better quickly when I needed to, when I was in a really bad place. Hello. Long time no see. I know. I've been having headaches and it feels like energetic stuff. I saw something about like crown chakra people opening up. Sometimes that can happen, like if you need to clear like a block, like an energy. And I know you have had some stuff around creativity and like just doing it. And I don't think people realize like how ingrained shit is. Like your subconscious will fucking kill you every time if it believes something opposite of what you really want and think and try to do. If there's something in there, disconnect or a belief that's like, even if like it's like the biggest desire you have, there'll be some way that will like mess it up, or you'll do something that you don't even like, why would I do that after you do it? But it's subconscious programs, and until you get that out of the way, we do oftentimes sabotage ourselves from ever making like real progress towards our goal. And it could be as simple as like, I'm not worthy of that, or my whole family is like, you know, in this class of race, like can only get to here. And it's why people win the lottery and then they go back to being broke after they spend it all because they weren't in the vibrational match. And that's why I tell people, don't try to jump so far, just jump a little bit at a time and you'll get there. And then you'll stay there easier than if you go from like $5 in the bank to $1 billion in the bank and then back to 5. That's usually what we do. I like the circle, and I see so many people incorporate the circle concept into other things, but the most basic thing is draw a circle and in it write what you want, but in a realistic way, as if you have it, and then embody it and it comes. Like, I am I'm making X amount every week, doing the job that fulfills me, sustains me, I'm in a happy, committed, like, whatever. I put a person in the fucking circle years ago, and it came true, and this was way back before I knew spiritual, like, if I had known then what I knew now, I never would have put a person in the fucking circle to begin. Just don't put anybody's name, just the idea, the epitome of your love that you would want. I was specifically like, beep, beep, beep. And then one day I opened the book when I'm living with the guy, and I'm like, oh my God, I did it. But it is a powerful thing. It will come. It's literally very simple. So, also reprogram. I recently made a vision board. Yeah, I was actually thinking, I wrote a note earlier for that. Because last year I was going to do one. Well, I had talked about doing it because I'm like addicted to Canva. I have vision board, Canva, right here. But I was going to do like a virtual event or something where people, like I could show people how to use Canva to make a vision board for free. And then, or even just Pinterest, like make a Pinterest board for free. Whatever. And I was thinking about doing that. I have a girl that had said she wanted to do it, but I never got a chance to really like ask other people about it. And the other channel wants to do a full moon thing every month. So I might even incorporate the two, because the moon cycles are good for manifesting. Yeah, Canva's fun. I'm a weirdo. Like when Wix websites came out, so that was a long time ago. Like the first time I made a website was for this thing that the guy that I was with at the time's mom had, and he went to jail for 6 years. I left then. I think 10 years ago is when I got Wix, and I was like, oh my god, because it was like the MS Painter but on steroids. Like, oh my god, this is amazing. And then Canva came out, and if you look at Canva today from then, when it was like, if you typed crystal into Canva for like their little elements and shit, like nothing would come back. Now it's like a plethora of anything you can imagine. I'm gonna use this one to look at what you guys say. But yeah, I'm a weirdo. Oh, why doesn't it tell me over here? Live chat. Over there, it has the comment. Oh, here they are. Okay. You look great. Good energy. Thank you. Long time. Yes. Snowed in here. Sage. I don't know where you are. I've been lucky so far. We haven't had a lot of that. I get like that. I get ahead of myself a lot. Yeah, we all want the easy, quick fix, but if we're realistic, we know that it doesn't exist. And even if it does, the likelihood of remaining there, if we got there quick, is less. I have to do a digital vision board on Pinterest. Yeah. And it's so cool because it's like you can even get the things like the price. You know what the price of that item is. You know what this is, because when you like know the information and you're adding to your vision of your life, which most of us walk around like not even really knowing. It's like you guys may think that you know, but are you clear on the details? Are you clear on the destination? Are you clear on all the like the 5-year plan and stuff? Because people who journal it, or people who like break it down into small little boop boop boops and then take action steps towards the bigger ones, get there, because they build the momentum. So it's like they're manifesting in a 3D world. I moved to London this year, and it moved here first time in the last, oh, I think you meant snowed here for the first time in 5 years, maybe? I don't know. You were the one that said. I think. Oh no, Sage was the one. Okay, I moved to London this year, and it moved here for the first time in last 5 years. I'm not sure what that means exactly. I'm probably reading it wrong. But yeah, the Pinterest thing is one of those like quick little easy things to just boop boop. And then on Canva itself, they have them now too. Like when you have Instagram, like you have an Instagram story template, they have them for vision boards. They have them for anything you could ever think of. It's all there. There's no little bits. Okay, it snowed. All right, I was right. But the other person, I was like, I don't know what had happened. So yeah, I've been doing lives, but I didn't realize that I was doing them like so that nobody could see them. So since June, I've been on here doing lives every first Tuesday of the month. And I'm usually on for several hours at a time, but I wasn't hitting public with the thing set so that the membership people are the ones at those lives that comment and get a free reading. But I wasn't posting it, so nobody knew about it, so it was all the same people coming all the time. But I finally realized, like, oh, I can make it so people can actually know it and then sign up and do their $5.99 reading, which it probably carries at least a $30, $40 value, because you don't have to wait. Most people get 15, 20 minutes of my time for the reading, so it kind of equals out to that. But this one, I just came on just like, because it's 111. So I was like, I need to do something, but I have a lot of other lives scheduled on the other channel. So I actually did think to do this channel, but then I wasn't sure. So I just was like, I don't know. And then you guys said this channel. So obviously this is where I needed to be. So how is everybody doing with their experiences or their lives? Is there anything that you have been experiencing that you're not enjoying or wondering about other people if they're experiencing it, or I don't know. Like, I feel like I have shifted a lot with my focus and my stuff that once like came here for this channel. So it's like almost like I haven't known what to put here because I was feeling like I was doing a disservice to some people, not all people. And I was feeling really guilty about it because it was like eating away at my conscience. And I'm like, I can't do this. It doesn't feel right to add to anybody doing something that's not good for them. Like, I don't want to encourage people to be in an unhealthy relationship. I don't want to encourage people to believe in something that they shouldn't believe in it. And by pumping out those picker cards every day and reading comments from people that were like completely opposite of what I was saying, was just like, so that played a big part too, I think, into why I got so hit energetically. It was like, your integrity is very fucking important, especially for energetic work. If you don't feel good about what you're doing, you're probably not going to be able to continue doing it. Hi, Rick. For manifesting takes time. Money. I literally started from scratch because I moved from India. Sometimes that's the best thing. When I moved 6 years ago now, it feels like it was 2 weeks ago. It's been 6 years. I moved out of a place where I had no money, I had no car, I had no bank account, I had no credit, I had no, like, in the place I was, there was no heat, there was no bathroom ceiling in our fucking thing. Like, the floor was all disgusting. It was like ripped up, and the carpet was like non-existent carpet, and the walls were like outdoor plasticky wall just put against the cement, so there was no insulation, there was no warmth, no nothing. I put my big curtains up all over the place to like section a room off to be like somewhat insulated. And then within 2 years from leaving there, the first house I lived on was a beautiful lake with all these like windows, just swans and shit. I had my Reiki room, and then the next house was here, and there's like 3 acres of like fucking crazy like deer filled land. And I was originally going to use the basement as a studio, but then that changed. Put my focus on here to do my stuff rather than everybody else's, which is what I was doing. And that everything made just like boom, got so much bigger. But it was because I think when you clear that space to reset your life, and you like let go of stupid possessions that don't really need to be there, and you just have the things, you set yourself up to recreate. And as long as you don't let false beliefs limit you, you'll be all right. I've been raising my vibes and meditating a few times a day. That's the best thing you can do. Is just keep, like, when you do meditation, try to do like the theta state one, where you can then program, and it's basically like hypnosis. When you were born, the first 7 years of your life, you're in a theta state. So everything your mom told you, and everything you saw, and everything you believed, just openly hearted, oh, I'm gonna believe you because you told me, I have no fucking reason not to, is what you believe. And the subconscious doesn't filter sarcasm, it doesn't filter a joke, it takes it for real. So people joking around with you or telling you some weird crazy story, it sticks. And those are the things that we now want to get out of us and reprogram when we're in that state, because it gives us our most potential. I feel my psychic stuff this year, for me, like, I have to trust my intuition more. Yep. When you start using your intuition, the best thing that I found for myself was doing it, like using it, getting feedback from people, confirmation, oh my god. But I did it in a place that was safe too, because it would be like a workshop to learn mediumship, or a workshop to learn Reiki, or, a place where we're practicing what we've learned. And if you haven't done that, or you haven't practiced on anybody, put that time in so that you get that practice. Like, I first started this channel, I think it was 2016, And the first things I put out were very like 3 people saw it, but they commented, and I did channeling for them, or I did something specific for them for free. I was like, hey guys, I just want to try this out, connect with Palladians, because they had been coming in for a while, but I hadn't tried certain things. So they would ask their questions, I would trance channel, answer them, and then things just grew from there in that respect with that. But there's so many ways you can approach it to strengthen it. You could do readings that you just post online in general, or you could do, like I said, specific things on specific people. If you trust and get the fuck out of the way and realize it's not you, like it has nothing to do with you, you're not special, you're not like a fancy dancy whatever, it's just you're an open vessel and you're letting spirit speak through you, it gets rid of like the ego stuff that will make you be like, oh, I'm sure great, but it also gets rid of the ego stuff of like, I can't do this, because there's no reason why you can't. You're the same as everybody. Everybody has the same potential. I'm worried about my career, and then I'm so happy because I left a toxicity, old for relationships and people, but I'm still waiting for my money, job, and career start, and of course my DM. And then I read for 2 people so far, slowly but surely. And then I have a question, if possible. What would a relationship with Steven from my program be like? Okay, so I'm gonna, with the worried about my career from Mary Lou, I'm gonna just touch on that one real quick. And then again, I've noticed when people come to these, they're usually all, vibing on the same frequencies. Like everybody's worried about money, everybody's worried about their career. I feel like if I was to come back on like any consistent basis of uploading on here, it would probably be to help people with that part of it, because that's literally what I did for so long, was teach myself everything I needed to know just to get a job, like online. I didn't do it with the hopes of this becoming the outcome. This kind of just manifested and was like, oh shit, that's kind of convenient that you learned all those things that now you use for yourself. But I know a lot of things that I deeply studied and could teach people. I've just found before it was hard to get anybody's focus off of Twin Flame. So nobody was really caring or watching when I would post those videos. But if people are going to watch them or find value in learning those techniques and how to set up an Etsy store that's successful, how to make your own Wix website, how to use Canva to create content, how to post content, how to create content in bulk and batch it up so you don't have to do it every day. I know how to do it all. It's a matter of me doing it is usually not what my strong suit is, but I don't think that's necessarily what I'm supposed to do anyways. I think I'm supposed to help other people. Like I get things and pass it on. Where the hell is it? I pulled out the hummingbird here, and I can never find them in this book. I'm assuming it would be with other animals that are like in the air. Like an owl, a nightingale, dragonfly, peacock, hawk. Jesus Christ. This is for the person that said they were worried about their career. Just wanted to see what card came through. Hummingbird says, positive, enthusiastic, spiritually resourceful. Inside the tiny hummingbird resides an endless well of energy and positivity. The hummingbird's secret is that it has learned where to gather nectar, and it returns to those sources daily for nourishment and rejuvenation. The sacred elixir springs from many sources, but usually involves nature, creativity, and exploring spirituality. Follow the way of the hummingbird, and you cannot go wrong. Every droplet of life becomes sweet, and every moment is worth savoring. So when you're in balance, you're smart and you're curious and you love to learn. And when you're out of balance, you might become pushy, insistent, or sharp. So they're saying to bring into balance, take a class. So I'm not sure what your job is, Mary Lou, but maybe it's pushing you out of the nest, so to speak, or maybe there's like if you're not feeling confident there, or you're not sure, worried about it, that's not going to be the good approach to it, because usually we manifest our fears and the things that we're thinking about, because the things that we think about we feel, and the things that we feel we ripple around in this reality, and we attract more of the like confirmation of what you're feeling. So if you're walking around like, I'm scared and this is me going, I don't know, you're usually going to create the experience that validates that. So try to shift that into, I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm evolving. Like in any work, it doesn't matter what you do. If you're going to be a writer, if you're going to be a singer, if you're going to be a healer, if you're going to be a gymnast, whatever it is, there's always going to be another class and more that you can learn. And then different fields of learning, like bettering your mind, bettering your beliefs, bettering your resistance to stress, bettering your whatever it is that you've got to apply into your job would be the way to kind of probably feel balanced or better about your approach to work. Okay. Keza says, waiting for job and career to start. Okay, and that's the way that that's worded. A lot of times, like, that's a subconscious thing. You're not going to notice it. I notice it out of people, though. They're like, I'm waiting for this thing to start. So right now, I'm here, and it's there, and I'm waiting. And when I'm waiting, that's all I'm doing is I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting. I'm never going to be there because I'm over here waiting. So you got to change the things that you speak. You got to change the way that you think. Don't write, because you're spelling over your life. You're spelling this into your world. Your magic. Your words are spells. Your thoughts are a visualization of what's going to become. Yeah, sometimes we're going to go negative and dark, and that's okay. But you want to, like, where did that come from? Why is that there? How can I, like, that away? Cancel, clear, delete. Replace with something better. Same thing with that. It's like, how can I reframe that into, I just moved and I have all these opportunities and possibilities, and I know the perfect one is like at my doorstep for the next step to get me even more and more aligned with my career, my life, and my joy and my purpose. But looking at it from that rather than waiting will get it to be here sooner. It's I am is very powerful. Whatever you say after that, you literally usually create. And of course, my DM. Yeah. See, and that's too, like, and it's, I didn't see that part at first, but I was always going to give that a reference of a lot of people women, twin flame, chaser, runner dynamic, they say flat out, I'm waiting for him, or I've been waiting. That's all that you'll do forever is wait. You're like, you got to not wait. Live your life. Detach, pull your energy off of them to give them the space to come. I have a question. If possible, what would a relationship with Steven from my program be like? Doop-a-doop-a-doo-doo. Doop-a-doop-a-doo-doo. Ooh, perfect timing. Longevity, the past lifetime, origin, time passes, test of time, make time, eventually. I feel like they're saying, oh yeah, well, wow, you get the maturity, established, ambition, experience, development, mature, sexuality. So basically they're like, in time, this is probably going to mature and happen, okay? Like the relationship with this person that you are thinking about is most likely going to happen as time passes and you guys mature and you get your achievements within things and your own lives and stuff. I feel like that's kind of what this is saying, but I also feel like that's something that's going to do within it. Like it would make you both feel achievements. It would make you both have the experience to develop the ambition for the longevity to make it work together. Like becoming master teachers of your lives and assisting and teaching each other through the relationship, because that's what it is. A relationship is like a partnership where you come together and you help each other to evolve, and sometimes you do it consciously, sometimes you do it unconsciously, sometimes you do it together, sometimes you do it from far away. Yeah, but I have the tornado storm brewing with the sun, which is a very contrasting energy. So I feel like there's a storm brewing, and it's basically negative thoughts. So if you think negatively about the potential of this, you will keep yourself from the yes climax of pride and radiant success, being fulfilled. These both say fulfilled. These both, you know, give me that energy of like, yeah, this is good, radiant success, awesome sauce. Woo! So you are the creator, you are the manifester. If you sit around thinking negatively about it, that it's not going to happen or whatever, then it won't. You know, it'll get prolonged and pushed off. So try to be in that light of illumination of knowing and clearly believing and trusting that you can have a mature, healthy relationship with them. Believe in them that they can have it with you. And then there may need to be things that break down over time, like the beliefs or like the stuff that has kept immaturity alive within that person or within yourself. And anything you find in another person, if you don't like it within them, it's usually something within yourself being reflected back. So when you realize that, that can help a lot too. Like, oh fuck, they're just doing what I do right back to me, or it's triggering some wound from when I was a kid. And just become accountable for those things. Eventually you learn and grow, and the process of arrival happens by baby steps. You just slowly find your way to the better way. And it's the same for everybody. It's like you guys probably have a longing magnetic desire that you can create and bring into fruition anytime with anywhere by being the magnetic feminine or being the magnetic masculine, whichever one you are. And then the firefly here, number 11, is also about the chemistry, inner spark, soul spark, someone exceptional, magic, attraction. So these are both all about attraction. And then I have the emperor here. So it's like if you guys want to attract an emperor, a divine man, divine masculine, you know, in your feminine energy, you need to have those breakthroughs that are going to help you to become more secure within yourself, realize that about yourself, heal the inner child, get rid of any codependency, addictions, belief systems that are keeping you stuck, believe and trust your intuition, your gnosis, your guidance to overcome the devil, be cool, calm, and collected, rather than anxious and freaked out all the time about it, or worrying about the worst possible case scenario, this is going to happen, or that might happen, this person did this thing, and we create things out of nowhere, out of our fears. I've seen it happen very quickly. And here's the hummingbird to confirm the hummingbird earlier. So be light of spirit. Drink the sweet nectar of life. You know, men like women to be this place that they feel safe to be like comforted and loved and nurtured. You know, you don't have to be like fake about it, but just be the safe place, because they go to the world all the time where there's negativity, there's people, there's fucking shit shows, there's this like thing put on men to like be strong and silent and be and just do your thing and make money, and they try to do that and shut everything off emotionally. But if you can be that lightness thing for them, where they come home at the end of the day, they feel that pull towards you, you're cool, calm, and collected, you're not adding to their stress, you're not adding to their problems by being anxious and freaked out about things, or feeling all, oh my god, they're gonna cheat on me, and like riding their ass about weird random things that you just kind of made up in your mind. That's going to be a repellent. They want to be able to just feel safe and trusted and loved and respected. So being in this energy of like leisure, happy, comfort, wishes coming true is how you get, you know, that person, that divine thing that you probably have, to take their mask off, because usually yours is a mask too. Like you may have a lot of anxiety because of how other people treated you. You may have a lot of bullshit that your parents showed to you that you're just living out what you saw. So if you become your empress, your emperor will show up to be with you. And that just goes for everybody. I am open to receive any message regarding my current spiritual journey. Where can I keep unfolding and connecting more to my psychic self? I got Traveler. I wanted to see what my past life one said. I got India and Traveler here. But I feel like this could be, like, immediately I'm hit with, like, this could literally just be a meditation. It doesn't mean, like, a physical get into a fucking ship and ship across the ocean. But if that's what calls to you to do it, then do it. If you feel called to go to Greece, go there. Or I know you've been called to, like, learn about them. And last night I had this crazy fucking weird thing happen to me. And the way that it, like, circled around was, like, insanity. Because I spoke with my sister earlier in the week about when you're someone that's beautiful, it doesn't always come along with like, oh, that's a great awesome thing to have, because people, you, first of all, you don't know, is this person here because they just like the way you look, or are they here because they genuinely like you, or they find value in you beyond like the appearance or the sex or the whatever. And then a lot of other times people will just not like you just because of how you look. Like they trigger something in them to not like you. It's like you can't fucking control that, you know? But we had talked about it, and I said it's a hard thing to talk about too, because it triggers people who know that about themselves, that feel that way, especially within women's communities, I've noticed. But that's because of the conditioning from society to make you feel inadequate and see all this airbrush Photoshop fucking pumped up and sucked out, and everybody's like fake. Nobody's really portraying realistic standards for others to feel like, oh, I'm normal, um, in many ways. So we talked about that and all of that. And then yesterday I saw a word from in a comments about it's the word means very much like real. You know, it's like it's real, but it feels real. Like when you write a story, you keep elements of it that are like Harry Potter, right? Like it feels like that could possibly be a thing, you know? There could be some magical fucking portal to this place because there's elements of real life within it. So that's what this word meant, but I had never heard it. And it brought me to this guy's YouTube channel who was like the epitome of my sarcastic, dry wit, like the way, and he was just being himself, just talking. But he was like, yeah, you know, it's like fun going to fucking do your chores or do tasks in the middle of a pandemic. And then he was, what he's doing is he's typing out The Great Gatsby, because he said, if you want to be like an award-winning writer, you want to do something amazing. Some of the people who've done that, who set out to do that, like The Great Gatsby thing, that's what they did. They typed up it, acting as if they've written that great, huge masterpiece. So that's what he's doing. He's like taking the actions as if he's writing a masterpiece, but in the middle of it, there's like a poem thing, and he's like, yeah, perfect, like a little creepy fucking poem, and out of nowhere. But the way he does it, like there's no emotion attached to it, so I know he probably gets a lot of people that are like, what? That, in the comments, he had asked people if we knew what the little C is under the C in facade. Sometimes there's like these little weird things. So facade, right? It's like that little thing can be a meaning of a soft C, S sound, or a sharp C, K sound. And that's why they do that. And it ties back to this fucking island that connects to all the Quechua stuff from Peru, that all the shamanic things that I've been learning. And then in there, I find out that it connects to the first woman ever convicted of witchcraft in Massachusetts, where I live, before this, so for the Salem trials. She was accused of witchcraft. She pled guilty to it, but got off. She was the only one that didn't hang or anything like that, because she mind fucked them. She was like, well, when I was a slave, my master told me how to make witch's cake, and I made the witch's cake to help this person that she was near now, because the guy was beating the shit out of them. So they like didn't know how to handle that information, and they let her go eventually. But it was like that tied into the hero's journey, which then tied into me seeing the arrows and the story of Psyche, where Psyche was a beautiful woman, and Venus hated her because of it. She's jealous of her, or Aphrodite, whichever one you want to take. So she sent her son, Eros, or Cupid, to go get her, that like make her marry the horrible, ugly thing. He ends up poking her and taking her away and being an invisible lover, and she goes on to the hero's journey. But it was just all like singling back around with each other, and I feel like that's the type of journey too. Like, let yourself be inspired. Let the universe guide you to, like, a lot of people wouldn't take that extra step to go on Wikipedia to find out what that little C is. But by me doing that, it tied into so many other fucking mind-blowing things that, like, kind of just make sense for me in my personal journey. So when you get on a ship in the subconscious, right, when you're in the waters, which I literally had a thing written up right today, 90% of your mind is subconscious, runs everything. On the earth, 5% of the ocean has been looked at and explored. So 95% of the ocean is unexplored, yet we're always looking up in space trying to go outward rather than inward into the shadow, into the place that's here. And you came out of a womb that was all water, that was all dark. Your body's made up 70% of water, and the earth is made up of 70% of water. So you're in tune with the water and the frequency that's there. That's and the shadow is just the parts of you that you deemed that not good. You just discarded those things when you were a child. So you got to go back to that place and travel into those depths of yourself and be safe and know that it's okay. Because when you illuminate that shit, it's usually not as big and bad and scary or ugly as we think it's going to be. Or there's some way that it works out. Like, I've always had that thing where no matter how bad shit got, like, I knew I would make it. I might go down to the bottom, but I know, like, I'm going to be okay. So it's like I always bounce back. And it's like, but if we can believe that, to keep that in play, we can believe that it doesn't have to get to the bottom. We can get to the top and stay there. Or with anything in our lives that we find to be an issue, if it's with our marriages, or if it's with, dark entities, are you giving your power to the belief that there's demons, or that there's a karmic person doing something to you specifically that is keeping you from having the love that you want? Or is there somebody, that you were in another life? Maybe you were a warrior during the Galactic War and shit hit the fan and you did some bad shit, so you may, be carrying beliefs from that time, or abandonment wounds from that time. You could have been a slave at one time, or your history and your family could tie to slaves because genetically you are tied. When your mother was in your grandmother, like she became a being in the womb, she already held the egg that you would be created within. So your grandmother had the egg that you would be created in. So you're going to tell me that you don't have like all that influence of the people who've been raped and molested and slaved and all that stuff is in there. So the belief system surrounding this too, like if you were hung or burnt or someone in your family was, you may self-sabotage when it comes to sharing your gifts. You may self-sabotage when it goes to exploring the depths of your subconscious or your femininity, your emotions, which is literally like so tied into the feminine. The moon, it's 28 cycle day bingy. It connects to the tides of the ocean. It's very like in tune with you and in tune with the emotional body and like the subconscious programs. So becoming aware of all of that stuff, programming it, like take a bath, put like salt into the bath, put music into the bath, like crystals into the bath, frequency, oil, salt, like all those things to purify yourself into like become the vibrational match of those higher vibrational things that you can use. You are always vibrating. When you add music, it can take you down or take you up. And it can be with the words too. Like if you have a cup, look at water. Water is like programmable. If you have a cup, right, write something on it, just tape it on there, love. And it will inform it with love and it will make it a higher vibration. Like if you have never seen Dr. Emoto's things, go look it up because he literally just took drops of water out of this thing and out of this thing. This one said hate, this one said love. And you could see the molecular like structures completely different. And you can see the vibrational patterns with sand on a speaker. It will come out to be sacred geometric and all these patterns and higher vibrations. But there's people here that have taken those types of knowledges and wisdoms away, suppressed them, hid them. In not too long ago, they literally like changed the frequency that we had to a different one. So now nobody's in harmony and they just like took it away. Like, no, we don't have to do that anymore. We're gonna do this one that's not in harmony. It makes no sense. But that's what they do to keep you in a subconscious thing of fear, listening to the omens. If you say you saw a fucking UFO, like you're afraid to tell people because there's an immediate thing inside of you. People are gonna think you're nuts or crazy or stupid. And there's many things like that it comes through with. But there's also conditioning through just being. The school system. And that was something else I saw when I learned about that island. There was hundreds of thousands of people on that island. And when fucking Columbus went over near there, they died. Down to 35,000 people. And then the same thing in South America. That was like millions of people down to none because they brought their fucking diseases and they just were rude and didn't honor them. But we're stripping illusions at this time. We're making the unknown known. We're changing our perception for the truth and realizing this shit and ascending. So there is a new day, but just keep educating yourself and keep moving into balance with self-love and realizing the duality here, acknowledging the past, present, and future so that we can change it and create sacred space for the transformation into abundance. And the reunion of souls with the people that you are meant to when you have the emotional releases and you ground into this world the ancient wisdom that's there for us. It's going to be a slow but steady progress, which, you know, most things are, but I've been seeing it change for a while. So honor your energy and just take the path of least resistance and integrate also. Like, don't just do things for the sake of doing them. Like, a lot of people will get on that whole like, hey, consistency. Like, if you can't create consistently with alignment and joy, or alignment and this feels good for me to do, then don't do it. Don't force it, because that's going to be detrimental. A lot of us get pushed to do stuff we shouldn't do when we're not ready, or we should just take a break for that day. But listen to yourself so that you don't put stuff out there that you don't necessarily want to do. And I'm marriage, soulmate, ancient Egypt, and twin flame here from past life card. So I feel like a lot of people have had past lives with their people. There may be soul ties to people, twin flames, whatever, that you were married in another life, or you may have been married at the time of ancient Egypt. But I feel like a lot of people may find information or wisdom through connecting with Isis and Osiris, or connecting with the stars, Sirius and Orion, and just meditating on them and being open, or going outside and staring at them and letting them inform you, you know, of what messages they want to give to you. But this says high priest and priestess. There's lost wisdom for you to acquire through automatic writing, through just automatic channeling, whatever feels right, but ground your energy so that you can be a stronger channel. And then masculine energies here too. That's going to help you to bring in the balance of yourself. When you strip away any illusions, you allow yourself to be fully immersed with the emotional release into your feminine essence. Your masculine will be able to show up. I feel like there's anger or something that you need to get rid of too, but you may not even know about. You may not even realize your anger. You may have it from fucking ancient Egypt, like some marriage thing that went bad, you know. And there's also shaman here, so there could be very deep wisdom within you that you need to unlock, but it's going to come from peace. It's not going to come from holding on to anger or resentment, or I shoulda, coulda, wouldas, or I wish I did, or that person over there is an asshole and it's pissing me off. If you keep focusing on that asshole that's pissing you off, they're going to keep doing it. They're going to keep getting stronger, and you keep getting weaker. So be the peacemaker, and don't give power to the karmic things in your situations, because that's going to make them become stronger and more present. Like, just ignore them. Don't give any energy to it. And you might be surprised that, like, all of a sudden things change on that level, or people come and go faster than you even knew. But some of us have been in South America too, that maybe do tie to the Barbados and to the witchcraft and the shit that went wrong back there. There's parts of our stories that are unknown, but there's also parts of our story that we can know and find out just through going within and exploring. Don't ask everybody else outside of you for the answers, because you're the only one that's going to feel it on a soul level, in the unlimited potential and possibilities, what it is for you by your synchronicity. All right. Of how do I manifest love? So, I think basically kind of some of the stuff that I was saying. And again, anytime I do these, I find a lot of people come in with a similar thing, or like they might need to hear that same message. So I've got the seer and the smoky mirror coming out of my mystical shaman here, and they're kind of a similar vibration. They're even close to each other in the book. So the smoky mirror is the aspects of what is implied yet cannot be immediately known in the world, the mystery of how things come together and how they fall apart without obvious casualty. This symbol also represents the shadow of the human psyche. What the fuck? This is what I mean. The parts of the self one disowns. The smoky mirror can also represent a state of denial, or the inability or the refusal to see the truth. So when the symbol of the smoky mirror appears, you're invited to see beyond your own self and acknowledge the past. Acknowledge it past the limits of your current ability to perceive. There is a vast interconnected world where events are orchestrated in divine order, but challenging to fully grasp. Now is the time to trust that no matter what the current conditions of your world reflect, in the hidden realms, all aspects of the human journey are celebrated, the beauty and the darkness, the misery and the courage. No matter where you are in your journey, know that some things are meant to be a mystery, in which you are meant to understand only through experience. Take heart, for the smoky mirror will ultimately show you beauty and wonder once the fog lifts the distortion that you might see now. So understanding the shadow on the human journey requires that you go deep into your story to discover the wound that prevents you from seeing the truth of your current situation. Your fears, your expectations, the disappointments, the unworthiness may be clouding your capacity to see the potential in yourself and others. The smoky mirror may be showing you things that you don't want as a result of conditioning. You may not have enough reason to not want something. It's just that's what you were told to think or feel about something, rather than what you actually might think or feel about something. These can become even more real, but only because you are making it so. The choice is yours. The world will hold you accountable for what you see and create. Can you see through the eyes of truth and faith instead? And then the other one here, the seer, I feel like is kind of similar. But it says the seer represents the capacity to reach beyond the obvious details of life to the hidden realm, where the information is available to those with the discernment to perceive it. The symbol represents psychic perception, intuition, and the capacity to know something without prior exposure. The seer knows truth, always seeks truth beyond else, and sees reality as it truly is without judgment. The seer can read between the lines and understand what is not being said, and it represents the power of clarity and being able to recognize patterns. That was the fucking video, like the guy was talking about patterns in life, that had the comment with that word that took me to that fucking video, that took me to Wikipedia, that took me around to fucking the story of Psyche and Cupid, or Eros, the son of Aphrodite, and their epic hero's journey. The seer invites you to trust your intuition and follow it as it leads you forward. You may feel lost when it appears that your hunch is taking you in circles or even through a maze, but the hidden realms don't follow the rules of a two-dimensional map. Trust your gut and allow your perception of your circumstances to widen, to include the nuances and the subtle cues that you normally miss if you take things at a face value. The seer has gifted you with this magic, and you are exactly where you're supposed to be, and your vision is clear. The seer has arrived to challenge you to get out of any denial or begin telling yourself the truth about your situation. Wishful thinking will not make what you desire happen when you're refusing to see things as they are. The truth may hurt, but it will set you free to claim the bounty that is waiting for you to notice it. This is a moment of true power. The seer offers you his medicine when you are ready, so surrender your vision to spirit and ask to be shown the truth, no matter the price. And once you do so, your eyes will open and you will perceive a powerful gift. So many people are afraid, just like at the wording of certain things, the whole concept of shadow work. People never know what it is or how to do it because they're afraid of it, because it comes with this preconceived scariness. It's shadowy, it's dark. The fucking feminine is shadowy and dark. The feminine is the moon. She's intuitive. You can't see everything when the moon is out. It's just very like, oh, and it's lunacy. It's fucking crazy. They're like all these emotional weirdo, because they have hormones and they make babies and they're fucking portals that bleed and do all this weird shit. Like, they're crazy, like, you know. And then the masculine is all about the daytime and like just easily seeing and, you know, do and provide and blah, 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 protect this crazy fucking weird thing, but I like it, so I'm gonna keep protecting it and giving it things so it stays alive. And that's like the base of the thing. If you can allow yourself to be the fullness of your crazy, messy whatever, accept all of it, process it, heal it, reinform it, reparent it, because a lot of us fucking grew up in a situation where the parents that we had were not parent properly, and their parents weren't parent properly. Think of like the people who beat on their kids. That can even change. My mom beat the shit out of me, never touched my sisters that came when I was 10 years old. But if you think about like a 2 or 3 year old kid, say they do something and you come home and you find that they did it, but they don't know what they've done. They don't even know like concepts of like, hey, that chair, did you smudge peanut butter all over that chair? If they don't know what a chair is and all of that, and then they see it and they're like, yeah, I did that, and you just hit them, they're not going to understand what the problem was. Like, there was no explanation there. You didn't teach them, hey, we shouldn't do that for this reason and that reason, so that it doesn't happen again. Because now they're like, ah! Now they're afraid to tell you the truth the next time you're in a weird mode of blah, blah, like, did you do this? Like, they're gonna know through the fucking fear programmed into their body, mind, and subtle shit. No, don't fucking tell her about what we did, because she's gonna beat us up. So that's where things like that come from and get big and big and big. That's why the guy that you might talk to has a fear of opening up and expressing the truth to you about what he's been doing or what he thought or what he said or blah, blah, blah. Others had parents that never just gave them the time of day, so they got used to being all here. No outside influence whatsoever. They learned, I've got to do it all. I've got to take care of myself. I can't rely on anybody else, and I just need time to be alone to regulate. So they have a really hard time with emotions. And then there's people who have the both of things going on, where they can get very anxious and very avoidant of stuff, and it depends on who's around them. But if you learn those things about yourself, like what is your attachment style? And it doesn't mean that you had a horrible upbringing or anything. You're just brought up in a world of people who don't fucking know what they're doing, by more people who don't know what they're doing, with a little tiny bit at the top of the majority feeding this down through puppeteering and manipulating and engineering this big pyramid system that we're in, that nobody can realize at first glance because they're a part of it. They become initiated into this big lie. So then you see the truth and you shift the truth, or not even shift the truth, just by being aware of the truth, you shift your reality and you become aware of it. It's not always easy, it's not great, it's like, oh my god, it's fucking sad, and it can be bad, but then you can understand why somebody might ghost, or why somebody might be the way they are, and it's not a personal attack anymore. You actually feel compassion for them and understand them on a deeper level when you get, oh, that came about, oh, because that happened to them. Now I know that that day that I did that thing, this led to this feeling within them that probably would be why they did that thing that I took this way, because when I was growing up, this is how I was da-da-da-da. And if you can educate each other, or just even educate yourself to get to a place to recognize those things, you can be in a much better position for your own love life in the evolution of a relationship with somebody. But it also depends on their maturity, their level of accepting that there's, hey, you're not perfect, when nobody is. We've all got work to do. If there's somebody there offering you the help, and they're not there's some people who take things as like, oh yeah, I get that, I understand it, let's work to help each other, like they don't take offense to it. But then there are people who just immediately take offense to it because they feel like it's a personal attack. It's not a personal attack, it's just the fucking facts of what is. We can see this clearly playing out if we just step back and look at it, but a lot of times people are reactive rather than responsive. So even just being aware of that in yourself, like don't react, respond, take time. When you get triggered, don't do what you feel like. People get they do something stupid and they regret it. Try to step away from those moments, or if you see someone doing that, don't take offense to it. The vision quest is here too. It says the vision quest, you face your fear, you embrace your mortality, and then you meet face to face with spirit. When we feel stagnant, a vision quest brings our lives into perspective. We realize our flaws, our potential, and our opportunities that life is offering us. We remain on a vision quest until we find the key to open the new door or write a new chapter in our life. So the invitation is find clarity by spending time alone in nature. And if you live in a city, go for the walk in a park. If you live in a country, make sure that you spend time outside in contemplation. Get off the couch, get away from your desk, go outside. Spirit helps those who help themselves. So set your intention and ask nature for a guiding vision. and then spirit has been trying to contact you, but you have not received an answer, or they received a no answer. So you have been too busy with your life, and there's too much noise in the head. So do not miss that call again. Make room for quiet time in this evening, and allow yourself to become bored for a little while, and you'll be able to hear the important message that is trying to get through. And this is on page 123, so it's like 1, 2, 3. It's the progression. This is the answer most of us need, is that theta time to reprogram those beliefs. You're going to feel good about the fact that you took the 10 minutes, the 20 minutes, or whatever to do it, and that sets you on a path of like that next thing, that next thing, that next thing in any area that we want. Hello. Oh goodness, let's see. All right. Are there people in my current office job that are envious of me? And what protection in spirit encouraging against envious coworkers? I find that this can be a thing, especially in this day and age where it's like everybody is like pushed to do better, be the best, be amazing. Oh my God. And if you start doing really good, the people who are like supporting you and loving you when you were maybe not doing so good can disappear or all of a sudden change up on you. Usually women know, like we just know when somebody's not really like there's no support, or they fall away when the good stuff's happening for you, and they just they don't like it. There's something in them. You sense the shift usually. I'm like, you just need one of these. The Hamza hand is like, I don't know, it's a protection thing. Some of them, there's some that are like up and there's some that are down, and it depends on which way it's facing, what it is. Like one's protection and one's, I think, like a dismissal or something. But I became like obsessed with them at one point. My sister she got me a necklace with one. I've made these. I gotta post these, but these are hands with shungite in them. So shungite gets rid of the EMF waves, like the electromagnetic 5G, 3G, fucking blah, 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 shit that's killing everybody. You're messing with your molecules and your vibrational energies, your frequencies, the water in your body that is basically programmed. But this symbol itself can do it, can protect you. I actually have these little wooden things, like about this size. They're little wooden ones that are cut out. Some are, there's just just the outline, and some the whole thing is there. And I was gonna make like a couple of little kits for Valentine's Day because I have these red droppers and black stuff. So I was gonna make a little kit with those for protection surrounding like your love and your abundance and stuff. The things that we think about with like Aphrodite or Venus. Venus is about love, money, luxury, sex, like feeling good. So I was gonna make body butter, an oil dropper, and then those little wooden things, like a little plate thing that you put somewhere, and probably some protection crystals and amplifying crystals. I have it all set up on the table downstairs so I can actually do it before Valentine's Day. But this symbol specifically, in any of the ways that you feel drawn to it, can help support you. I have a shirt too that I think I got it like a place that I wouldn't expect it to be. I don't know what the hell it is, but it's got a big huge one on the front of it, and there's a lot of them out there. Like once you see it or once you pay attention to that symbol, you're probably gonna notice it a lot more. I gave away a lot of them, but I did have more. And then for stones, marlinite, labradorite. Where's my black one? I don't know. Oh, this one too. Palo Santo is also a good one for burning. Like I don't like the smell of sage very, very much myself, so I like to burn Palo Santo. They sell it in sticks, but like marlinite, obsidian, tourmaline. These black stones, any of them are usually good. This is good for like if you want to do like mirror scrying or scrying itself. If you use this one, it will help you. This is lava that was at one time melty. It became this, so it's like a reflective surface. A lot of times people will like create, like if they have a big enough one, put like water on it, so then they stare and they gaze into it. It's like mirror gazing. You unlock parts of your consciousness and who you are on deeper levels. Any of these stones, and then smoky quartz is one. Labradorite is one for the starseed specifically. This will take away other motherfuckers' shit from you. It's a transmutational stone. It's the magician stone. It's like a magical thing for the starseeds. Like I said, smoky quartz, basically just quartz, but it's a smokier version of it. And then your intention, anything can do anything. Your thought alone. I have protection oils, like I have my candle. I had last year. Yeah, well, last year before, around Halloween, twin came back into my life, asked me to make him candles. I made him two, made it abundance, and I made protection. And when I went there, he had a candle there from a person that he was like telling me the person was evil, they weren't a good person, and they had put a symbol on the candle that they have fucking lit right now. I'm like, put it out. And they're like, oh, it's almost empty, it's not a big deal. And they opened the cap of the protection, and it was like boom, landed perfectly inside of the one that they had there, like so perfectly, like airtight. Put it out, and I was like, told you. And he was like, oh my god. So they do work, and I've had them work, like when I had the stalker person that was like fucking incessant, been arrested so many times, got released so many times, COVID was happening, they kept giving him breaks. Well, this time, did the candle, they brought him in, he did get it bailed, but they wouldn't let him leave because they were like, oh, you were exposed to somebody with COVID. So he ended up having to stay longer and be there, and it like then led to him staying for like extended months in jail. All after doing that, which was an ongoing issue until I did. So that one has Nag Champa in it. Nag Champa for me connects to the moon for some reason. Like that's the essence I get from it. I love the smell of it. You can get it in oil. You can get it in incense. The incense are my favorite. I think they're down in my healing room right now, but those help. And then, like I said, Palo Santo is like it's a stick. Just try to, like, when you buy stuff like this, look for a thing that says like we care about where we're getting it from, because there's people out there that do not care and are just destroying it and making it become like this, like we can't have it anymore because you're gonna kill it all and not let it grow for no reason because there's plenty of them for fucking sale already. So it's just greed. So look for like ethical suppliers that care. And then white sage for me is like when I gotta call in big help. Like there's like a fucking demon here. I'll get white sage. And I never believed in that stuff. I never thought that I would ever see that or whatever. But then I did and was like, okay, these are real. But they're usually a creation of your psyche. Somebody gets raped or molested or something bad happens to them. They create them surrounding that issue or that problem that they face, that trauma that was created, that fear that manifests. Maybe they were raped as a child, so now they have a daughter, they're afraid that their daughter is going to go through that, so they manifest this demon into their life that does things in their home and in their life. They can't sleep, they can't eat, they fear it all the time. It's usually connected to something traumatic when those things happen. It's not always, sometimes it's there, like maliciously, other people sent it, but at the end of the day, most of what we have going on around us is, again, a reflection. So when you ask me, are my people at work, jealous of me? Do you feel competitive with them? Do you feel like a rivalry with them? Do you feel inadequate at times when somebody else gets recognition? Or is that just interbred into that job by whoever the management is? Because sometimes management picks favorites or they don't know how to manage. And it's not your fault if you feel those ways, but it's a reflection of the environment. So becoming aware of what's feeding it, what part of it you're feeding into it on your side will help immensely, and then write down on a piece of paper all the things that you want to get rid of and burn it, or put it on a piece of paper and freeze it. Like fold it all up, get it, put it in like a little ice cube tray, and like names of people that you want to freeze out of your life, or bury it, get them out of your life, bury them, like whatever you can think of. Like these are just things that people created, rituals and stuff like that. Ooh, magic. It's like, just do what you feel guided to do. Don't make a big deal about it, like that you don't know or you're not guided. We all get these concepts. We just don't trust them. So trust them and do it. Take the action, because your mind will know, I'm lighting this to clear the energy, so it's going to clear the energy. And I take those steps every week, every month, every day, whatever you need to do, affirmations. But feeding into this stuff isn't going to help. So those are protective measures. I got the serpent here, which is basically about shedding the past, shedding your skin. Like the serpent sheds her skin, we shed the past. So I feel like basically they're telling you to let go of whatever residue's holding on right now. It's a force of Mother Earth, and it's a coiled serpent at the Kundalini, and it brings passion, healing, and renewal. She offers us the fruit of the tree of knowledge of the garden, and reminds us to shed the past the way she sheds her tiled old skin. The serpent comes to offer you the forbidden fruit that will set your passion and creativity free. The serpent power of the Kundalini is stirring within your chakras, gently asking you to embrace its mystery. So shed the old skin that you have, gently asking you, that you have been so attached to, and welcome the vulnerable pink underbelly that will bring you a fresh experience to your life. Your passion and sexuality are awakening, and this can be scary because it's going to make people jealous and triggered. But trust the wisdom of the serpent to transform your sensual energies into beautiful original manifestations, and own it, and the right people will come. The right people that can handle you being sexy and in your power are going to show up, especially when you can own it and you can feel powerful and you don't feel insecure about it. You'll feel like I was saying at the beginning of this, like, women can be afraid to own that part of themselves because they want friends, or they want, to be accepted. They don't want to be hated because they had a fucking nice dress on. And it can be really deep, how bad it goes. Like, my sister went to a thing for my niece's, like, she's like a little cheerleader. They're like little kids. They all get a participation thing, But the mom that was there for another kid, the dad with her said something to my sister, and my sister had on a dress for like the ball night. And ever since then, this woman has been like mean to her. Asked her if she wanted to do the baseball shit for the kid, and she was like, yeah, sure, send me the info. Never sent it to her, never told her nothing about it. Then all of a sudden she gets an email like, the game's on Saturday, they haven't had practice, she doesn't have a uniform, what the fuck? And then she starts like doing all this weird like passive aggressive shit to her. And it's just because the guy that she's married to looked at her. It's like, it's not her fault, and it shouldn't become this thing that now impacts my niece in a negative way. And I was like, just don't even fucking bother. Just to delete it and do it next year with other people. Like, but it sucks. Look at Wild Woman. It's there. It's always going to be there. Some people are going to be better with it than others. It just try to be like when you show your truth, like that you're not just your skin, and you're not just your whatever, like there's a fullness of you, you're loving, you're kind. Because a lot of times people don't like the beautiful person because they expect the beautiful person to be like conceited or dumb, or they get labeled in some way that's not usually, welcoming and all. Like, I've had people say things to me that are so fucking degrading and rude, but they don't realize it because they're saying it based off of their conditioning of society. Why don't you just blah blah blah? Because obviously you have a vagina, that's what you should do with it. You should fucking blah blah blah. Like, easy. No, that's not what I want to do. I don't want to fucking put my vagina all over the internet to get money when I can do it in other ways that I like to do and are easier and help. But, stuff like that. So when the Wild Woman dances in your reading, she reminds you of the essence of authenticity, freedom. Divested of all social constraints and cultural conformity, the Wild Woman holds a mirror to your essential self, the true essence of who you are and who you're meant to become. She reminds of the bright light within each of us that gets dimmed by the restrictions imposed upon us by the expectations of society. She reminds us that in order to fully be present in life, we must uncover the light and let it shine brightly, regardless of the perceived consequences. So she's asking you to dance and to shine brightly and to know that your true self is being called to engage this world. She is a symbol that your long-held dream is beginning to take root and wants to be expressed, and your authentic self doesn't fit in a box. It needs freedom to shine. It's time to have the courage to step into the light. Shine brightly, dance with abandon, and be yourself, and let Great Spirit decide what happens. You will be happy that you've done. So excess for its own sake is a sign of imbalance. This is a warning that you may be trapped in obsessive thinking or behavior, looking for release in places that will never provide it. So let go, lest you become like the hungry ghost of the Chinese Buddhist lore that can never be fulfilled. True release comes from trusting the fluidity of life and understanding that just as the river needs its banks to flow through, so do you need boundaries around your thinking and behavior. So now is the time to simplify, be mindful, and connect to that light within. It's on page 127, which is just more synchronicities. So yeah, embrace your real self. Don't worry about other people. So true, I realized after you said. Yes, speaking is a spell. Not good. Hi, what advice do you have for people who need to release relationships so both parties have the time and space to grow? And then how do we navigate the sadness of the loss? I think it sucks with relationships because it's dependent upon the level of maturity of whoever you're dealing with. Like if you're dealing with like somebody who's really closed off, egocentric, like toxic, unhealthy, and you're not, you know, people talk about this thing all the time, projection of, oh, you're gonna project all your bad shit on people, you're evil, blah blah. We do that, but we also can project our other parts of us, like our compassion, our empathy, our forgiveness, like deep down within we have this thing inside of us that lets us know like the limits will go, and we maybe place that on the wrong people, because there's murderers, there's rapists, there's people who will kill and plunder and not think twice about it, where you as me be like, I can't kill a fly, you know. Those are two extremes. But if you project that soft, sweet, you know, inner goodness onto somebody that doesn't have it, that can be a problem within itself. But it's just an example of what I mean, where it's like where it gets messy and it can be difficult, and it's like, am I reading this person right, or am I believing that out of my own meanness or out of wanting to see that in them? Because sometimes we can get things like limerence or, you know, false ideas in our head. We put a person on a fucking pedestal, which would create that deep sadness of the loss, which I get it. I've done it. I've felt it. It's almost like it's inevitable. You can't, if you genuinely love someone's present in your life and you want them in your life and you care about them, but they're not able to give to you like a healthy, mature thing right now, then taking that route of like, hey, you go learn and grow and I'll go learn and grow is the best thing you could do. It's probably going to happen one way or another, regardless of your, you know, wanting it to be like amicable, we both decided this is for the best, or because that's just what happens through the series of events. But, you know, like, try to reframe it instead of looking at it as like being sad. Like, try to reprogram it or trust. Like, before this whole twin flame thing came about, I don't know, like 5 fucking years ago, I wasn't ever hit in the way that I was then back in the years before. When I was 14 and we separated, yeah, I was heartbroken and oh my god, blah, 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 blah. But I knew that I would see them again, always. There's never been a time that it was like, ah, or this big, like, yeah, I would cry, I'd get sad, whatever, but it was like different when the twin flame information, the awakening, the return, the release of like being in an imprisoned fucking shit show, and all the time of being like leading to that time of thinking like, then I can go there. It didn't help me because it was like I was prepared for something this person knew nothing about. You know, like they didn't know I anything about twin flames or awakening or whatever. They just knew like after 20 years, here she is again. So I built up a whole other story in my mind and how I felt and what power I was placing on them and me in this relationship. And, you know, I think that can lead us to do things or put up with things or feel things that don't help us or serve us and even knock us down within the eyes of this person, because they don't get why you're like, I love you, when they, don't understand it. They just don't understand it. But over time, they might do that as you do that either way as a default. So keep growing and evolving on your side. Offer the info in a way that feels comfortable for you. Don't take it personally if he can't show up to meet you there. Educate yourself on the ways that he's presenting and what you think it might mean about his way of attaching to people and why he does what he does. And then that takes off that whole of like, oh, I'm just a horrible person. It's like, no, you might be triggering something in him, and his natural urge is to do what he's doing because that's how he's always been. It's not a personal attack. Just like us separating for this time to get better should be a thing I celebrate and feel good about, not feel really sad and like, oh, this is the end. Because if I believe that, I create that. So me believing that, eventually I'm going to see him again, or eventually this is going to be fine, or that's what always led them, like things to correspond, I feel, in a way where it was like it did orchestrate in many, many different times, like the return. However, there was a point where it was like, when we first reconnected, it was like we could only stand each other like a little bit, like it's not even stand, it's just like it's overwhelming for him and me too. Like we went from like not being able to speak, we just sit there in silence like weirdos, and then over time we could speak, and then over time we could spend more time speaking, and then last year, like the year before last, it's not that long, but it's like it's a weird time fucking thing. We spent like 3 months straight like connecting and having all this stuff and building on it, and it was like he was being vulnerable and intimacy, and like more intimacy with any ever had before with this guy, but we weren't having sex, and it was like mind fuck, and it led to this big catastrophe or sex night, which was way too much emotion, and then the end. But because of that 3 month span of like communicating and building and, oh, here, take this thing that I don't want anymore. It's like, oh my God, is this yours? And like these exchanges and these times, this vulnerable learning and all of that, it made it like worse. It was 10 times worse than just like the night of like passion once a month or once every 3 months or whatever, than nothing. In contrast to spending that time and thinking like, oh wow, they're actually showing up, because they were like, I'm awake, I'm awakening, I'm healing, I'm learning, I'm star seeds, It was like, holy fuck, nothing you expect, but because of the way that it was and the way that it felt and the way that it was like before to then, my way of looking at it was not the right way of looking at it, because it just made it 10 times, like I went into the deepest, darkest fucking pit of my emotions, and it's just been like, sad and blah. But at some point you've got to stop doing that, because nobody wants to be around that. Like he's not going to be like, let me go hang out with you and you're sad, crying, woohoo, like all mad and upset about it. So also keep that in mind, that where you are at about it, if you're cool, calm, collected, and you're not like pining and hanging around anxiously like, I need you, that will be the repellent energy. But if you're like, I'm okay, I don't need you, I'm good on my own, I can fill myself up, that is attractive energy. So work on that. Be mindful of what you're getting yourself into. Set clear things up in the beginning, like boundaries for yourself, which we learn as we go. And I feel like it's a thing anyways. It's like, obviously things can get better, they're not perfect, there's always going to be triggers, that's what a fucking relationship does. But how well you get at handling them usually gets better. But let me see. How do we navigate? I got the Rainmaker for the navigating the sadness. I feel like, connecting with the element of water, emotion, releasing, cleansing baths, taking stuff to wash away in the water. When you do the Munay Ki rites, we get the 5 bands of power. The second one is a red one. It's connected to the water. So when we get sad, or we get emotional, we give it to that band, this energetic protector, to transmute it and to sustain us and to feel good rather than to drain us. We use the element of water to correspond with the emotion to wash it away. Be mindful of the moon cycle and just realizing like, oh, the fucking full moon's here, that may be why I'm a horny freak show, is more so, awareness of the understanding of like, I'm not, desolate, alone, miserable, oh my God, this is the worst. if I look at it from the perspective of like, oh, the moon is just making me more in tune to my desires and stuff, like, and I can look at it from a different perspective of energy that's not going to be like, you know, miserable about it, or fall deeper into the illusion of it, because that's what the moon brings, is illusion and the unknown. The intuitive insights are necessary to fully grasp things that you might not ever. But the rainmaker is the master of manifestation who can call on the elements of nature to serve as the greater good. And when the power to create is used with integrity, great beauty and benefit flow to all. When this power is used for personal gain only, everyone will suffer. When the earth is parched and the rainmaker calls the waters from the heavens, all the dormant in the fields and in the people's hearts springs to life again. The rainmaker is calling you to create something new from the elements that have already in your life. So be sure you work with what is and not with what might be or could have been. Let those things go, and the seeds that have been slightly germinating in your heart will burst forth, ready to for the sunlight. Do not hold back. Put all your chips on the next roll of the divine dice, and recognize how you are co-creating your world. Nothing is happening out there without your involvement. So remember that the world is only mirroring back to you the condition of your love and your intent to change these within before you take any action. It says, so change these before you take any action. Do not take life personally. That's one of the best things that we could do, and the best way to get there to not take it personally is that educating. Learning about attachment styles was one of the biggest moments for me of like, whoa, this is no longer a personal attack. This is literally fucking like just psychology, and it makes so much sense. You can see it clear as day within the people who have this, who have that. Though there's a woman, the Personal Development School on YouTube. When I first started watching her, she had just started and she had like, you know, small thing. Now she's got like hundreds and thousands of people, and you can see that it helps. They're learning about it. It's a big problem if you're the only one learning though, or like, or the only one willing to learn, or the only one willing to do the work. And that doesn't mean that you both have to like come together to do it together, but you'll see it in the person if they're doing it or not. But again, it's going to be a reflection, are you doing it or not? Because we can make ourselves think we're doing it, or you know, put an illusion up around it, or package it in a nice box. That's a problem on their side, but not over here. But if that's a problem on their side and they're your twin, then it's a problem on your side you just haven't seen yet. So when you say things like, they've abandoned me, or they hurt me, or they lied to me, they blah blah blah, ask where you've done that to yourself, subjectively if you can, in a way that's like just honest. Like, maybe I've abandoned myself by not putting that extra blah blah blah. Maybe I abandoned myself by answering that fucking booty call, or by whatever it was at whatever time, or wherever you are at in the moment with things in your life. Just be aware of it, and how it's showing up so that it can change. Can I ask a specific question? I know what kind of job I want, and I can see my success, but is there anything or guidance of what will help manifest? Okay. I need my drink. You good boy? Yeah. I have a deck for purpose mission stuff that I like. It's a smaller deck than the traditional kinds that we're used to. Not as many cards in it, but it's a good one. Where the fuck is it? It was on the side. What the heck? There you go, my sunshine. There you go, my rain. Think of a jar. Oh, I got it. It's called Your Sacred Wealth Code, okay? It's for like what your purpose is, or like how you best serve this world, and they tie to the different planets and things that we might use within our businesses, our partnerships, our relationships, how you show up best. So you're the artist with Venus here. So you're divine feminine. Divine feminine is Venus. She's, she embodies that energy regardless of what her sign is and all of that. Most women have that essence in them, or they're capable of, or even just divine feminine. It could be a man with the essence. It doesn't have to be a girl body, but whoever has the Venusian sensuality, the like, fine dining and sensual, silky, sexy, like roses and delectable foods and shit like that, is kind of what that represents. And it says creative, visionary, imaginative, idealistic, connective, harmonious, passionate, receptant, spiritual. Where the hell is it? I can never, just get the thing. I know it's there. What page? 43. Alright. So basically, it says, I create my visions. So you just said I can visualize it, I know it. It says to manifest beauty in the world is your purpose, but the shadow is if you are undervaluing yourself, or you are in a perfectionism place, or you've got the unchecked idealism. So perfection and unchecked idealism is kind of like the same thing. It's like some of us will not roll something out because in our mind it's not perfect. It's got to be the perfect this, perfect that. Or you need to know the perfect amount of information, or you're not where you should be, or whatever the fuck it is that it makes you feel that way, or one more thing, or one more that, or but I need you to do, I need me to, like, something is false. So the artist is a creator, an inventor, an innovator, a musician, a dancer, a performer, a writer, or a visionary. As an artist, you have the deep reverence for beauty, and you can see it everywhere. You are inspired by the beauty in the world, and you express this wealth of your visions through your art to uplift the world. Your primary motivation is to create, and your viewpoint is unique, and it needs to be channeled through your chosen medium to full expression in the order for you to realize your value. You are interference, and because you see from inside out, you have the ability to make your inspirations a reality that others can see, feel, hear, or touch. You're well liked and naturally connective, and have a magnetism that enhances the power of attraction. So you draw people to you through your creation. And as an artist, you dwell in your right brain, where you have the plenitude of creative ideas. Typically, take a non-traditional approach in your work, and love to forge new ways of doing things. One of your superpowers is to weave ideas and mediums together in a new way. This makes you a valuable resource for creative solutions for logical left-brain thinkers. So the shadow of the artist is basically undervaluing yourself, and the chances are there's a core belief that you are not enough, or you're not good enough, or you were most likely programmed with this belief at an age by parents, teachers, or peers. The mindset can undermine your efforts to make money and create wealth from your creation. So when you are in your shadow of the artist, you may see such an idealist vision of what you want to create that you become disappointed, even devastated, when your practical efforts at creation don't match that ideal. And it's not going to be able to out the gate. It's going to have to be the procession, which we talked about at the beginning of this. I said use the circle and take it baby steps. I have a video on the Divine Essentials channel. I said how I manifest 10,000 with a circle is the name of it. And that's literally like you start off. I think I started off putting in like $100 and wanted $100. By the time that I made that video, my goal was $10,000 a month consistently, which I hit for a year straight from that time doing that. So you can get there, but it's usually going to be a progression. So all you do is draw the circle, and then inside it write the reality that you feel is believable, perceivable, capable to have, and let yourself get to that one that's like, you know, boop boop, and then the next and the next and the next, and you just go through the progression. When you focus on your faults in your work, or you get caught up in perfectionism, you might block your creative genius from doing its magic, or abandon the projects before they are complete, or worse, never even start the great work of art. So if you find yourself in the shadow, it's important to get back in touch with purpose. Move your body to get out of your head. Spend time in nature. Surround yourself with people who appreciate you and what you do. And then the inspired action plan says, I hone my artistic high value gifts to create my visions through my chosen artistic mediums. But yeah, I feel like basically you already have the vision in yourself, but because reality is not matching that vision that you know you want, it's like working against you rather than supporting you. And everybody's different, you know, just because one person should visualize doesn't mean another one should. Just because one person should use affirmations doesn't mean it's going to work for another person. It's dependent on what we believe, what's believable to us, what's capable to come through us to get us to that next spot. So like the teacher is here too. So I feel like you could be similar to me, where it's like I'm a very creative person, but I thrive to teach. So a lot of times what happens is I learn something, turn around and teach it, which is an actual thing I learned recently, is that people who learn and retain are the ones who teach. If you just learn it, look at it, absorb it, but you never fucking apply it, you never took notes about it, you never try to explain it to another person, it just goes out. It's useless information that came in and it's gone. But through repetition and through, you know, trying to apply what you've learned, will help you. So it's like to know is to grow, and whatever it is that you want to do, learn about that and apply it. It says every vision has a plan. To be a channel for planning, producing, or formulating better ways to realize a worthy mission. The strategist is a success-driven individual with a profound desire to support future growth, and as a strategist, you are highly gifted when it comes to devising plans to align vision with action to create a better world. But you're ambitious, smart, passionate, decisive, technical, and on a path of personal precision, and you can help to create a better future by empowering great thought with the deliberate, purposeful actions which create results. You are outcome oriented, and you find finishing your projects and achieving your goals deeply rewarding. So your passion for improvement keeps the wheels calculating, the mind turning, and you are always mapping new methods to create systems to improve the outcomes and bring plans to fruition. You are hardworking and agile, and you work well under pressure and are a keen problem solver. Your out-of-the-box thinking makes it possible to get the job done, even when events throw a wrench in your work. So you may not believe that about yourself somewhere inside of you, or you may not see those qualities within you, which a lot of us don't do. If even when we do embody these types of things, if other people in our lives at some point made us feel like we weren't that, or we couldn't do that, or we're not good enough for that, like we shouldn't believe that, or whatever. So some people may need to strategize how to like forget that bullshit and recognize the truth of who they truly are and the value that they have just innately, or make the plan, like see the vision of the plan to get to the place that you want. I know where I want to be. I know what I want to do. I know how I want to serve. What does that look like to get from here to there? And maybe I need to Google along the way. Maybe I need to watch some videos along the way. Maybe I need to test and fail. Everybody's got to test and fail. It doesn't matter what you do, how you do it, where you do it, when. You're going to fuck up sometimes. There's going to be bad times that happen. If you allow the fear of those times to stop you from ever doing anything, that's way worse than making one mistake out of a few. You know, like, oh, at least I got those things. Like you build momentum, and it's also based off of a value on yourself. If you go in expecting to fail, or that you don't know, or other people are better at this than you are because they've had some special button on their life or something, you know, that's what society can sometimes make us feel or believe or think. Oh, they had money, or they had that, or this person did this thing for them. Who knows what else is going on under the scenes? You know, people don't always show the fullness of the things, which I feel like if they did, less people would be so intimidated to go apply themselves. Like you don't need to put these people on pedestals is part of the problem when we see others doing what we want to do. Instead, be like, I can do that too, because if they fucking did it, so can I. Like, just change the view around it if you see yourself having any of those views. It says the first steps of your greatest work are constructed in the privacy of your mind, and at times you might get locked away in the castle of your mind with the key nowhere in sight. So if you start seeing yourself as a legend in your own mind, you can easily become self-centered, or your carefully constructed projects and teams could crumble. So when you're stressed or over-calculating, your mind will kick into a higher gear and relentlessly drive you towards perfectionism. This need to be better and better and better will overshadow the good work. So you'll be too entangled in your what ifs to implement your brilliant plans. But if you're off purpose and your ambition can get the best of you, causing you to trade in a healthy competitive edge for aggression, or just getting into like fights with people, it could cause conflict instead of success. It could burn your bridges or cripple your mission, which sometimes we do unconsciously, subconsciously, through self-sabotage, things that we don't even understand about, like, why did I say that? Why did I do that? Why would I have... And it's not you consciously, like, are an asshole. It's just that your belief system sabotaged you, if that's something in there to be had. So if you have a subconscious program surrounding something, we want to fix those. Because then it's like, it's futile. It's stupid to try to do anything with one of those issues blocking the path. Because we can't get to the destination, or we're going to fuck it up when we get there if that remains. So it's like, get rid of that and then go. Get rid of that through theta. Program your mind. Affirmations. Write down things that are affirmative and speak. Believe in yourself. Get rid of the input into your computer system, which is your body, mind, whatever. Whether it's food, people, sex, whatever. Like negativity, if you're watching TV, just even the airwaves that come out of the TV is programming you. This whole fucking place has influences, good and bad. So be very cautious about what you're allowing to be consumed in all areas, so that your output can be better surrounding what has come in. And if you find yourself in the shadow, it is time to remember why you are doing what you are doing and realign your body, mind, and spirit. So that's the first step within like marketing and sales and stuff. Is like, what is your why? Who are you? Who are you here to serve? How are you helping? And why? Why are you doing it? Are you doing it to become rich and famous and just because you want a lot of money? Are you doing it because it's your passion and you love to do it, it inspires you, and you want to help in some way? Are you doing it because you believe some outcome is possible if this was done? Whatever it is, it doesn't matter, but it should have, good reason behind it. If you find like, oh, maybe I am doing it only for this purpose, it may not be where you truly belong to be. And it can be hard because sometimes we will go do something and everybody around us can be like, oh no, you should keep doing that. But you can feel inside yourself that it's not what you're supposed to do. And if that's the case, you might have to lead by example, even in the difficult time of like, but I'm doing good here. People like it. But internally, I know my why isn't right, or why I'm doing good isn't the right reason for me to be doing good, or whatever. And then the connector is another one from Venus, with heart-centered, intimate, creative, communicative, devoted, harmonious, inspiring, accommodated, receptive, and empathic. So use your heart, use your soul, let your heart lead you creatively to create the plan to manifest the life that's going to teach you first, because we teach ourselves first and then we teach others through the experience of our life, so that you become a master teacher to assist others on their path. But you've got to allow yourself to receive while you're on the path. You've got to say no when it's time to say no, and have healthy fucking boundaries, and increase the value and worth on yourself. Call on the Lyran Collective. They are ancient ancestors. They are they hold like a golden frequency. If you think of like the Sphinx in Egypt, they have that type of presence and that type of energy, and an emotional release Release your emotions connected to lower vibrations. So whatever has been bad, or you've perceived the truth around something to be negative about yourself or whatever, go deeper to the ancient wisdom inside of yourself that resides there through grounding. Grounding is going to make your energy 10 times more powerful, and earth needs you to ground. That's why you're here, to be an antenna on the earth. It's going to help you to move into your balanced place. And there's going to be a reunion of souls, an abundance, a transformation, and the integration while you're teaching in a sacred space and having unlimited possibilities to continue to expand and grow and evolve through, doing that connecting and that emotional work and honoring your energy, your truth, your why. That doesn't come from a self-serving, egoic place. It comes from growth. And growth comes from transformation, from death and rebirth. It comes from shit times and good times. If you didn't have one, you wouldn't know the other. If life was always peachy beep boo, then there would be no reason to have the opposite of it. So be grateful for all of the things in your life that have taught you a new perception. Be grateful for the masculine and the feminine, and know that it's all good. Even if it's been bad, it was good in some way, because there's contrast and things are constantly changing, and you're healing through it. You're evolving your truth through it. And you're connecting all the things together for your transformation to become the butterfly in your life. Okay, Songs of Starlight would like to know about the past lives and gifts that have been passed down. I have another. Where the fuck is it? There it is. Nice piece, have it. Thank you. God. This is. Oh, look at the Love Life is on the back, or the bottom of the deck, and Celtic. So you could have had a life in that type of energy with a lover. I think somebody in your love life may have stemmed from there. Oh wow, look at that! Pay attention to your dreams. There are messages for us is in my Divine Truth deck that just happened to randomly fucking be in here. So I feel like I don't know what you have going on in love or whatever, but it could also be from your dad, because the father is there. But sometimes if you're a woman and you have a father situation from past lives or whatever, it can manifest in current lives with romantic partners. They say daddy issues or whatever, but it just depends, because karmic relationships is karma. Maybe this person was a dad in another life. Maybe you were their dad in another life, which I just got this again to confirm. There was a life of somebody at some point that was, karmic, but it, people get all about the karmic. It's just a word for karma that we all carry, no matter what. You're not going to have multiple lives with somebody and get out of there without the karma of it. That's why you recognize each other. That's why you feel a pull to people that you have. Your family has been your family many times, but with different dynamics. So feel loved and comforted. Dream and allow yourself to journey with the drum. There's magic to unlock within yourself. And there's important information that's going to be coming to you, like through an oracle, like cards or whatever. Says wait for the important information. Stay rooted and grounded right now. And I really feel like that's important in energy for you, is like earth energy. Just stay connected, because you're going to end up seeing beyond the results right now, and you can choose the direction of your path, but you've got to let yourself, let your heart be a guardian. It says love and let yourself be loved. So I feel like this is definitely some part of your situation that's important for you. Yeah, my past lives are present in my current incarnation. So I feel like you were probably, and then I got Father Sky right here, fucking trust in the unknown. I feel like there's some tie between you, your karmic, thing here with your dad, and possibly a future romantic person that's like all tied together. Not in a weird, creepy way or whatever. It's just there's something there that maybe um, they'll feel familiar, or they'll be like, hey, this is my knight in armor. But when you look at it from a higher perspective, you step back and you look at the fucking beloved, you'll see like, oh wow, he was just embodying the things that I learned as a child is what I should want. And there's the drum again confirming you need to play either play a steady beat of the drum, because it induces the theta state, it induces the shamanic journey. You can either play it yourself, or you can listen to it play, but it will transport you on a journey that will help you to understand what I'm telling you about right now. And the beloved in this book says, the beloved is the recognition of spirit in another, and it's moving towards spirit through the other, and it is the divine appearing to us in the form of our child, or our partner, our friend, our father. And we experience being in love as we grow, and we start to recognize the beloved in everyone. And we're not confusing their personality with the divine nature or the divine birthright. So accept the invitation to learn through the path of love and expand your being through union with another. And when you recognize the beloved in another, you can call forth their highest and purest nature and follow the path of love. Be careful with romantic love, or the kind that you fall in and out of, and own all of the projections that you've placed upon a person that you're dreaming of. Remember that they are only mirroring back to you your own deep longing rather than revealing their true selves. If you fail to notice this, be prepared to walk through the fire of strong emotions once again. So, this happens, especially like in this community I found, is people repeat these things in a cyclical way. It's like, if you're not going to pay attention or see this, we're going to make it blatantly obvious. Like, I'm not somebody that pays attention to dates and times and shit. Like, I just can't. I never know what day it is of the week, never mind, whatever. So, with the situation with my person being like a cyclical thing, they did it on a day that I could not forget. It was like Halloween both years, Christmas Eve both years. Same thing came to me from that person this year and the year before. But the way that we handled it was different. I don't know if it was the right way. I don't know if whatever. But it was like, it needed to change. Because I could clearly see. I'm like, okay, we can repeat what we did before, which led to my fucking, like, horrible feeling of not, yay, this is fun. Or choose to not do that, set healthy boundaries, and create the energetic space for something different to transpire. But everybody's journey is going to be different, but you got to pay attention to your patterns, whether it's with a dude or by yourself or your mom or your family. Maybe your mom married some dude, and it's a very similar story to like your grandma, and your grandma was very similar to your great-great-grandmother. These stories get passed down because it's what's modeled to us, so we do what we know or we feel is like how love should be. And then a lot of us get like, fucked up from these fairy tales of, oh, Cinderella or the Little Mermaid. But none of those things were really a healthy dude. If you think about, like, hey, this girl, she just like saved you from a ship, and she's a half mermaid thing. Like, yeah, give your voice so you can have him. Don't speak. Like, but you can see how it gets to the psyche of the people. Now women have a hard time speaking their truth to the men, verbalizing their needs, telling them their boundaries. They'll sell their fucking voice, their awesome gifts, to be with this dude that they saw on a ship one day that was like, can't even swim. Like, you guys have a little less in common than you might think, because you're a fish. But they don't see that. They don't look at that. Cinderella, she was in a toxic situation. Anywhere was probably an upgrade from where she was, but this guy can't even remember who the fuck she is. You just saw her last night. You cannot remember. Those types of things are in our collective psyche, and they're not good for the collective or the betterment of our society. But the rhythm of the drum tunes you to the beating heart of the universe. Its wood frame links you to the trees, and it helps you to journey to the lower world. via the roots into the upper world through the branches, and the drum skin gives you the shaman the powers of the animal kingdom. Striking the drum calls forth the power of the thunder and the rumbling of the earthquake. The drum invites a trance state where healing and prophecy happen. The drum invites you to take the next bold step in your journey, and the forces of heaven and earth are aligned behind you, supporting effortless action. Time is This is not a time to push against the river. The current will take you exactly where you want to go, but you got to jump in. Collect your power tools, summon your courage, because it's going to be a wild and glorious journey. Allow yourself to be carried by the rhythm of what is really essential in your life. You travel to the beat of a different drum, and it's time to acknowledge that you do not fit a mold or role or relationship that is not in tune with you, and find your rhythm, respond to the heartbeat of the distant drum, and then the price that you'll pay for lingering will become higher with each passing day. So the time is to move on. I feel like there could have been something in another lifetime or some experience that you may have had that deterred you from following your heart, or maybe deterred you from feeling like it was okay for you to choose the path that you were on, or maybe you were self-sacrificing for another, or for your father or something, like in the name of like oh, I'm being a good person, like a dutiful wife, or these knights that will fight to the death for some dude. It's like they're not really emotionally invested in, but they do it because it's expected of them, and they're like, I took an oath and I feel very much that I should do this. It depends on who you were, where you were, where it all began. But I feel like it's tying to your love life, and it's also tying to possibly like your energy that you might have manifested from your parents. Yeah, there's been wars and battles that you are among or a victim of in one way or another. But the broken arrow is here, and this literally means like, hey, you don't need to protect yourself from that anymore, because like that's over. There's no war happening. Other than the one inside of yourself that's causing you to be like, I'm gonna be all scared and I can't do that. Like I gotta do this over here, or it's not safe in some way. But it's definitely an ancestral pattern that has been passed down from other places. You might need to really release the resistance of acknowledging parts of yourself. Just go up to the highest perspective you can to look at the fullness of your life, to look at the similarities behind the things that have played out in your own experience and like the experience of your parents and stuff like that, your grandparents. If you don't know, learn, because you might be surprised. But it says be devoted and committed, and then look at the knight, be brave at heart. I feel like you need to tap into some former version of yourself that did have that bravery. You stood your ground, but maybe it didn't end well, or there was a death or a tragedy or a loss, something that just this brave knight tried to do the thing. But sometimes when we do the thing, it's not there it doesn't get us the thing that we want. But you're no longer in that energetic space, so you could drop your guard, follow your heart, listen to the drum, wait for the beat that pushes you to move. Like, don't just act hastily, but listen and trust the heart to guide your path. And if you haven't been in a place of like really fully understanding what that means to follow your heart, practice. Try to shift whatever has been the norm for you, to be more tuned into your feelings and stuff, because you'll feel when it's right for you and when it's not. But the essence of the coyote here is a trickster. So it says, are you being seduced by what you think you desire? Could it be that you are maybe being more superficial, or sparkly, shiny aspects of your ambition led you to a moment? Perhaps you feel that in order to get what you desire, you have to compromise yourself or control another. Maybe you feel like you would have to manipulate to ensure your goal was met. And the coyote howls in the shadows to remind you that this may be a lesson too painful to learn. Beware the shallow waters right now. Something or someone might pretend to be deeper, but that doesn't make them so. No matter how seductive or beautiful or sparkly it could appear, all that glitters will not turn up gold. So no matter how many wishes you make to change that, it's sometimes it's fool's gold. It says the coyote calls to you. This is a time to pay special attention to detours and disappointments, as they are true tests of faith.
and you have set your intentions and turned them over to the Great Spirit, you may find yourself lost and confused when it appears that you are being led off course, or off the path leading to your most cherished dreams and desires. But remember, the coyote is a sacred trickster, and he may be leading you into challenges to ensure that you're ready to handle what you have set in motion. And great growth and understanding come to you when the coyote calls you. So it's a symbol of a trickster, the one who provides detours for the growth and understanding by ensuring that things don't go as planned. The coyote brings the energy of the divine deception to you, free from the shackles of that which doesn't serve you. Sometimes it appears that you will get everything you want, only to find out that coyote was bringing you the opposite of what you had planned. The lesson offered by the coyote at first may appear confusing, but they are most sacred, and they are always for your highest good. So it may not be something that we're like, yay, I'm so glad I fucking saw that truth, or know that new reality that I looked totally different than what I was expecting, but it's also tied to that shadow self, the shadow, the secret parts of ourselves. You know, are we seeing truly? Are we wearing a veil? Are we, like, not seeing the truth? There's a lot of people out there that, like, oh, the divine this and the divine that. But they're placing those divine labels on things that aren't divine, like the behaviors and the, like, ghosting. It's not really a divine trait, you know? We shouldn't correlate those two things together. But if we place that power on something, they're divine. They're the one. They're the best. That's going to trick us to believe that, and we're going to see that in our life, in our middle world, that manifests from the shadow world, and can be a little disheartening, or like that wake-up call when you realize that what you were seeing or believing or projecting about them, like I said earlier, we can project that goodness onto people too. It's not always negative. It's like, oh, you're a good, caring, loving soul with empathy. You would assume other people are, but they may not be. But they will maybe know how to make you think they are. And in those cases, that's where we usually get tricked. But again, it's a lesson to learn. So pay attention to that type of stuff showing up. Pay attention to the dynamics between you and your parents, and what type of, like, ancestral karma has passed down, so you can clear it. For the abilities, I think the drum is one of the things. Like, I feel like you're a shaman. Yeah, look, the upper world, the middle world, the lower world, a part of the shamanic journeying. You go to these places to do different things. I'm going to be doing the shamaness course where it's like I break it down as basic as possible to teach people what they need to do to go on, like, these journeys, to get their power animal, to know their power self, to center themselves, to So that's probably going to be a few months from now, but you, in the meantime, can play drumming and, like, learn how to travel yourself. Like, you innately know inside of you how to do it. You just got to remember, like, a lot of times we remember by just hearing the beat, or being in the place that is similar to where we may have done it before. My question's about love. Any messages from Spirit, my true divine masculine? Hi, buddy. You good boy? Seconds tick by. Stop wasting your time. Obsessed and repressed. So basically that's like, oh wow. Like, you gotta stop looking at the clock. I feel like you've been waiting and waiting and waiting. And what that does is, like I said earlier, it just keeps us waiting. Okay? You're never not gonna be waiting if you keep affirming, I'm waiting. But, you know, I'm waiting for my true divine masculine to come into my life. I'm waiting for him to manifest. I'm waiting for him to tell me this, or whatever it is, however it is showing up. It's like, if you're becoming obsessed, you're repressing it. When you keep focusing on the time that they're not here yet, they're not here yet, they're not here yet. They're saying you're going to be shocked, but you got to stop staring at the clock. Be the divine feminine who's receptive and nurturing. She's not going to sit there super tuned into that. She's going to create and inspire, which will set her life on fire. So it says you're out of alignment, mission needs a reassignment, and this is the artist card. So I feel like you just need to be creative. Get artistic in your creation. And then beginnings and endings are one and the same. So whatever's going on, whatever's ended, whatever's, happening, realize it is also the opposite. It's like, oh, this ended, but that means that the next level starts or the next part is beginning. And if I stop and look around, all I want will be found. So I'm awakening for this union, this manifesting, this spiritual growth, and I'm learning what I need to learn. And I'm free to be a creator and a healer and a manifester and all of those things. The one I miss will come for a kiss. When I embrace this and I approach logic creatively, which is a balance of the feminine and masculine, the logic is the masculine, the creative is the feminine, the left and the right come into harmony. And it says, calm your raging sea, become stress free. So if you're stressed out, anxious, nervous, when, shift that, get it away. It just happens to us, but it's gonna cause delays. The more you affirm that or think that or feel that, like, I'm sick of waiting. I don't want to wait. Stop saying it. Be like, I'm not waiting. I'm living my life, and whatever's meant to be will be. Where whoever's supposed to show up in this space and time is going to be there. Physically, like, take the time to be like, cut the cords, cut clear. Archangel Michael, please come, cut and sever any energetic cords that are negative, that are draining, that are resentful, that are sad, that are anxious, that are obsessive, that are anything that I'm sending and putting out there that's probably a deterrent to those things that I would like. Let's cut clear those. Archangel Michael is intelligent. He knows what he's doing. He's not going to cut the cords of love, and the cords of peace, and the cords of good shit that makes people nostalgic. And, oh, hey, I missed that person. Why did I stop talking to them? They they focus on the good things. Those negative shits aren't there anymore, blocking it. So you can have that transformation and reset the energy. And like, I've literally done this before. Like, I was in the basement with that guy that I lived with, and I'd like do it, and he'd like come within minutes. Like, it was like he fucking got a call, and he'd be like, I want a hug, and it's like they want to reconnect because they feel the like, you just cut something, you just did something, and I'm losing my like whatever, because he was a narcissistic abusive asshole. So he was like, you can't do things or think or feel without my say. But when you cut those things, you'll notice these people will show back up in your life to reconnect. Pay attention to like how they do it. Are they manipulative within it? Awaken so that you can have the union that's healthy and not keep getting delays that lead to never happening. So it says it's time for a change. It won't be strange. You just got to allow yourself to change. There's infinite abundance and beautiful things available to you, and your divine masculine foundation is protected. It's a spiritual thing. In divine time, things will align, but decades will come and grow if you don't choose to grow. So if you just choose to stay, the same, or not heed, the messages, then you might manifest something sweet or something sour, and it's going to take wisdom, and it's going to take application of yourself. It says, open a book, take a look. The answers you seek will come this week. So if you start educating yourself now and looking deeper into like emotions and attachments and just whatever you feel called, like, let your spirit guide you for the awakening, because spirit will show you. It could be a number. Maybe you see 333 all the time. Look it up. But don't just grab the first thing that pops up on Google. Let your intuition take you to the one that seems to call to you, because we get that little excerpt on Google. It may be on page 7. Maybe it's not on page 1 where everybody just clicks the first thing. Go to the page that you're called to. Go to the one that you're called to. Scan to the place that you feel. And those are usually the most profound or most, like, aligned things. That's what I did last night for that big fucking crazy thing that I did. But yeah, they say stop and look around. All you want will be found. So it's all available to you right now. All the messages, all the answers. You just got to take the break of like focusing on wait, or focusing on they're not here, or I don't have that thing I would really like, or that person I really would want to have. Even if you don't know who he is per se, like you're not sure, just the idea of I don't have that thing, or he's like a far away like figment of I don't knows, it needs to change, and you can change that, and it doesn't have to be strange just by educating yourself. But this will be the year that it's all clear. So decide. And they said everything you're experiencing in your life has made you strong and courageous, so there's a purpose for it all. And you have infinite options. You have free will. Just because you think somebody is something doesn't mean that they are, or even if they are that, doesn't mean that you have to do something particular because of it. So they're saying the time is now, no need to wait, go on a date. Maybe you need to open up your options and explore. these options that are available out there, which is funny. I didn't even like really put that together until I just realized like options. Oh yeah, maybe. So you might want to date around, you know, if somebody particular is not showing up, don't wait, you know. Stop and look around. Stop focusing on like the current issue at hand and expand into the infinite possibilities that are available. Otherwise, it's just going to be making more delays. Because if this guy that maybe there is somebody that you know or whatever, or there's a person that does, you know, resonate with you, when you start exploring your options, if they don't want to lose you, they will return. So that your impatience can be healed. Just like that, they will be back. But you've got to keep working on yourself, or you will continue to wait for decades and nothing will happen, nothing will change. It'll just be more of the same bullshit that we often can find ourselves repeat until we become aware and awake of what it is that we're repeating. But don't let fear guide it. I'm doing this out of the fear that if I don't, it's going to be horrible. Just know that in the time that they're away, there's balancing happening. There's karma being restored. There's things that you're learning, you're growing, you're evolving, you're healing. So the whole fucking purpose of the soul's journey is to grow. So expect your upgrade, you know, starting today for these next 10 years, just a huge upgrade in your life. Good things are coming, better opportunities, the awakening of the union. You're paying attention. You're shifting your consciousness on both levels. You're divine aligned within your foundation. Believe it, speak it, see it, create it, put it out there, and emanate it so that they can show it back to you, and then you can ripple it back to you within a partnership with the person that can emanate those right things. But right now, you're not in the right vibration for it, or it would be there. So we go, okay, how can I shift that? And then just change, like everything's like polarity here too, positive and negative. Like, just embrace the natural instinct of the feminine to receive, be receptive, allow yourself to do it. So many people have been like, oh no, I gotta fight for my right. It's like, just fucking love, man. Just stop fighting for stupid shit and be nice to each other, love each other, care, light and fucking love. Not all the time. There's shadow out there too. We gotta embrace it, look at it, realize like, wow, I'm really glad that there's this, because, you know, without this, there wouldn't be that. So now that, I know this is even better than I thought it was before, because now I know the contrast of it, and it's teaching me how to evolve, teaching me to make better decisions, to feed myself energetically, to heal myself spiritually, to evolve away from situations or grow with them, to inspire some situations, to learn my lessons. And it's all a part of my process for ascension, for abundance, and fucking growth. And I just need to be my feminine self and maybe pick up some books, maybe write, journal. Creative expression is going to help you to take the lead in your life. And it's going to teach you, like almost like a school would, like I said earlier, when people learn something and then they apply it, or they write it down, or they share that what they've learned with another person, it locks it in more than just like random information that they brought in and never shared with nobody. They weren't in service. If you're not in service, a lot of times it's kind of a waste of time. So there's infinite abundance available to you, but think about, how can I be in service that feels right to me? Maybe it's with animals, maybe it's with children. Doesn't matter. There's freedom for you to choose that and go that slow and steady race of unlimited possibility. Strip away the illusions of things that maybe make you feel like you can't or you're not, or whatever the fuck may be in there to be. Self-love will be the key for your environment to blossom. They've got flowers here, so it could even be that you work in the environment creating flowers or crystals. It's infinite. You could do it all, or you could just do one. Don't let the world tell you how to do it. Just listen to your sensitivity. What works for you? How can you feel good? And, you know, what is the why behind what it is you're doing? And as long as that aligns and feels right within your soul, then, you know, usually it works out for the best. Unless you're lying or something. For the person specifically, like a message to you from him. Where is it? It's a beautiful day. This time has taught taught me so much, separation. So, like I was saying, in the separation times that people have, they may feel like, you know, it's a waste of time, or I'm not getting what I want, or that person, you know, blah, blah, whatever it is. But they're, on their side, there's usually mirroring. So if you're learning a lot and you're growing, they usually are too. They say, tell me the truth so I can too. So that you need to be authentic self. Don't limit yourself. Don't put yourself in the place of like, I don't want to say that. I don't want to be seen as crazy. I don't want to be like the misinterpreted or whatever. But if you want them to be expressive with you and not hold back, you need to be expressive about you and not hold back to the world around you. Be your authentic, most, you know, like, person that's not getting like, sometimes we can allow the desire of a person, like maybe you like this person but you're afraid to be your authentic self to the fullness because you don't want them to judge you or see it or know about it or hear about it. They're not going to feel resonant with you. They're not going to like you if you're like not being who you are. And if they then you do by somehow become together, they're eventually going to figure out who you are down the road, so you might as well come out the gate being that. But we often, on both sides, will not do that. But if we did, people will like the humor that you have. They will like who you are. They will put you on that pedestal. They're going to get nervous around you. You know, they're going to feel like they don't have the right words to speak. And, you know, they get all the same intensity that you have too. But you guys amplify it within each other and make it worse and make it so that it's like, now we know, you know, like I said, it was like, oh, we went from like not being able to fucking speak, just being weirdo, awkward people, to then slowly talking, to then slowly like, oh yeah, okay, like, got all the Munay Ki rights, got like the healing modalities, went through all that shit, like things that I would never have expected to happen or asked to happen or want, you know, like even think that I needed it or wanted it to happen, happened as a result of time and healing and growing and whatever. So just be open to knowing that if they're there to mirror you and you're growing and you're healing, that at their deepest part of them, they're gonna like you, the real you. Like, I started the other channel to like put my starseed stuff over there and like hide it away or whatever. That was the thing that they liked the most about the shit that I do, and it was like the thing that I was like the most insecure about. So don't, if it's the one for you, they're gonna like you. They're not gonna there shouldn't be anything that you do that feels really good to you to do that is like a repellent to them. The things that you really like to do and the things that like are resonant on your soul level or whatever, maybe they're a little weird or whatever, they might surprise you, and they should if it's truly a person that is like a vibrational match. If they're not a vibrational match, they're probably gonna dismiss it. Maybe they will at first. Maybe they won't get it right out the gate. But over time, you may change their perspective. So as we struggle through the current, we can go upstream in the battle, or we can just let it be and you know, release that resistance. I have always keeping me on my toes, so I feel like this person may just not know how to deal with you too. Yeah, I don't know if I deserve you. You're always keeping me on my toes. Like, I feel like they have to work for it, or they feel like they're not valuable enough for you, or that you're going to have higher expectations than what they feel like they're able to give to you. But they do want to grow old with you. They're saying they're forever yours. Just make love to me. And this one says, just shut up. So I feel like sometimes you guys may miscommunicate with each other. And it's not that you don't love each other, care about each other, or want what's best for each other. It's like, I want to share everything with you, but like maybe you guys just don't always say things in the same way, and that could be very difficult when we're trying to talk to people. If they're not seeing what we're seeing, they're on a different frequency of perception, they're going to see it through their filter. But over time, you plant the seeds, they may grow and then come to see a new thing, and it will shift and whatever. It says, my true love is always yours, always has been and always will be. So I feel like this person does truly care about you, and they do want to be closer to you, but I definitely feel that sense of like, I'm nervous, I don't know if I can give to you what you expect. It says, treat me like you need me. I feel like they're afraid that they're not going to be able to give you as much. Maybe it's because of what you provide to them, like the food, the way that you make them feel, the way that you uplift them energetically or emotionally, or the way that you're just so willing to be there for them, or whatever it is. You know, steady and true love for them, regardless of how they've shown up. it's like you're a dream come true. And when people get that, it's like, it's too good to be true. I can't trust it. And then think you can handle me. They may feel like you have all these options, or you could have all these options. And so why the fuck would you bother with me? If you've got insecurities on your side, they're going to have insecurities on their side. And usually they mirror each other. So if you're like, they're so fucking perfect, everybody in the world is probably already all up in their shit and loving them and blah, blah, blah. They probably feel that right back, you know? So, yeah, they find you very seductive. They want you from the moment they saw you. They feel lost. Eternally yours. Says, I'm empty without you. And would you say yes, insecurity? So, I definitely feel they don't like being without you, but they're insecure about trying to close that space. But they will make it all up to you in consistency. But they're just in their shadow with their doubt. They don't know what to do anymore. So I do feel when they feel more confident, or when you find your clarity or your confidence in your way of like shifting on your side, they're going to reflect that back to you, and then you'll get your fulfillment. Don't put it to the, like, don't go crazy, you know, be like, I gotta do everything right now. Just let it evolve and be what it needs to be, when it needs to be, how it's going to be. I can't remember. But basically, I feel like they're like, don't try to change you for me. Just change the way that you see yourself for me. Change that you know that you are, like, that you're not replaceable, that you are an amazing person, that you do have something to offer, that you're an attractive person, and all those things, so they can feel that way back to you through you, because you mirror each other. So if they feel torture right now, they feel like they're not good enough, or they feel like they've got to wait, or that they don't know what to say, or they got the wrong words, or I don't know if you're going to like it back. If you do that on your side, or however it's manifested on your side, it needs to be transmuted so that that doesn't happen on either side anymore. It's going to take time for it to like match up. It's not an overnight thing, and you might get triggered at times where it's like, I thought we had grown. You get confused. Yeah, there's a don't change a thing. You might default to settings inside of you that make you feel a certain way, or make you act a certain way that is just evoked through them, but is meant to be evoked through them. It's your shadow work. It's your fucking reason for evolution and healing on a soul level. Just be the authentic self as much as you can be, and that will help to get you here. But when you find yourself like, you know, secluding or hiding yourself, or hiding your real voice, or hiding your real wants, if you're not illuminating it, then, you know, be mindful of it, because that's going to keep them from being able to express what they already feel drawn to do. And they have been watching you, but they're waiting for the right moment to come, bring balance and communicate and express what they need. Everything about you is perfect to me, so see yourself in those eyes, unconditionally loving yourself, forgiving yourself, and unconditionally loving and forgiving them, without the fears and the anxieties of just opening up and expressing. If you're afraid to tell them, you know, then they're probably afraid to tell you. But the truth is, I love you. And I wanted you the moment I saw you. I'm just an awkward weirdo because you're an awkward weirdo, and we're going to keep being awkward weirdos until we get that shit straightened out. Which is, you know, it's okay. We are all that way at some point. Sorry, I have one more. What is my purpose moving here? Because it was so unplanned. And then, yes, I would love to travel. Oh my God, yes. I love Greek myth and old civilizations. Thank you so much. I've been feeling drawn to this person, and then I had a negative reading telling me to stay away from him. But I feel drawn to him. And he visits me in my dreams. Thank you so much. You're welcome. And always trust your gut, you know. That's the problem with doing readings too, is like sometimes if somebody's not in a good space, and they're triggered or whatever, they may say something to you, but it's also a reason for it usually. Like when that stuff happens, there's always a purpose behind it, or something you have created within it too. Like you attracted that reading, or you attracted that thing because it like sealed the deal on the doubts and the fears and the insecurities, the subconscious fucking bullshit that we lie to ourselves about, so it manifests in the physical world. But deep down inside, there's the doubt and the knowing, deeper levels. Whatever the first thing that comes up is usually the truth. It's usually the thing. But then we doubt it and we question it and we fight it instead of just trusting our intuition. So try to become more aware of like what's the first initial thing, and then pendulum yourself or use your body as a pendulum muscle test. Like I have you can use a necklace as well. You don't have to have just like a actual pendulum. This one's not on a necklace, but it's here. But basically, you ask it to, like, you start at a standstill. You can have a necklace, anything that, you know, has like a end that's kind of pointy or something. The only one that didn't come off is the one that I wanted. So you start with like something like this, just at a dead still. Like I have this little board for these, but where the hell is it? Oh, it's underneath here. I have this thing. It has like a yes, a no, a no. Usually that's how it works, but you would come to a standstill. If you had a regular pendulum, most people keep it with like a little thing, and they say, show me yes, and it's going to go in one direction. So you're going to know your yes, and then you're going to say, okay, show me no, and it's going to be little subtle movements. You'll know the no, and then based off of there, you can do the yes and no. To do it with your body, you stand with your feet like shoulder apart, and then some people, their balance is off, so for most people, when you stand like that, and you could like either cross here or keep your hands down, but you close your eyes and you ask yourself, yes, you should like just like slightly lean forward. If you ask yourself no, you should slightly revert back, and it feels much more intense with your eyes closed than you're actually doing in real life. It's a very subtle movement, but that's how you can get your yes and no's too. Like I've done it in stores where I'm like, do I want this bag or this bag or this bag? And then even in that, it's like you just break down what it is that you actually want without your fucking ego blocking you. Like, I really like this one, but I like that one's pocket, and blah, 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 blah. When you take that part of you away and you're like, okay, subconscious, is it a yes? Okay. And then, like, you do it to the next one, you go back, it's like, okay, deep down within me, my truth, my core, myself, like, all that stuff that's aligned. Well, let me keep this bag and not destroy the bag because my subconscious is now on board. If I got the one that's not on board here, it might get dropped and, like, left behind somewhere to whatever. Or I might not like it in a week, or I have to return it, or there's like a defectiveness or whatever. So to eliminate that, I'm just going to go there first and ask, is this a yes or a no? And if I get the yes, I know that's the one I really wanted anyways on my deeper levels. And then the more that you trust that and the more you take action, the more you'll see that the first things, like, oh, it was the first bag I picked up. Oh, it was the first fucking time, blah, 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 blah. It's usually that. Like, we keep having that happen with our lives. It's like, oh yeah, that's what I thought it was going to be, or that's what I wanted it, or blah, blah, blah. That's what I said originally, but then I did all these other things against it. And a lot of us are guilty of that. I know things very clearly sometimes, other times I don't, and that can spin out of control to fucking endless unknowing. Especially with other people involved. You want good stuff, but you can't depend that other people want the same things. Like Homer says, Odyssey, it's so old, it's one of my favorite stories. I'm sure it will help everyone. What do you support can be done to get into the divine feminine? So the divine feminine in this day and age has been like, it's been hard for women to be it because we have to be in our masculine energy a lot of times just to survive this world. I feel like this is dying. Yeah. All right, well, we still have a little bit, so that will keep me from staying on forever because it's already 3 hours. But masculine energy is the energy that goes out, provides, and protects. Masculine energy is the one that's like logical. You know, like, I'm going to devise a plan, and I'm going to take action, and I'm going to go provide food and money and resources, and I'm gonna bang this beautiful bitch with big hips because I know she can produce beautiful babies. Like, that's all they care on the bump level. And the woman is like, I'm gonna nurture and I'm gonna receive what they're gonna give to me. They're gonna protect me. I'm gonna feel safe here. They're gonna give me a nice cave or whatever. And, you know, I'll be here with the baby. I'm gonna give them my love, my time, my affection, my devotion, my intimacy, my gift of life. Here's your child, you know, things like that. But as time has gone on, people have steered away from that. Like, people take offense to the fact that, like, some people still want to go into those places and be in those ways of, like, traditional roles. It's not sexist. It's not bad. It's not an unhealthy thing. The way that this world has become has made us feel those ways about those things. Or women have been degraded, or they have been shunned, or they're not as... Without a woman, you ain't going to have a human race, so what the fuck do you think you need here? You know, like, we could just fucking preserve enough sperm to keep the human fucking thing going along for a while with just women here. Men, you need a womb. Like, it's always opinions, and it's always whatever, but the best way to be in your feminine is to think of, like, a mom, okay? Like, how does a mom... like a good mom. Like, I'm like, not my mom, but like, I love my mom, okay? I love her, I care about her, but I was more her mother than I was her daughter. And that's just a natural thing that occurred, probably because of past lives. It probably was her mom at some point. But a mom that's like warm and inviting, understanding, compassionate, like, she's gonna be patient with you. She's going to receive you well. You know, think about that. Receive the man well. Well, a lot of women do. What do you want? Why are you doing that? Or they, like, get really crazy. And I know, because I've been there. Especially if you're with a man that's not a divine man or a good man or a masculine man in his power. If you're dealing with, like, a manipulative, cheating, lying, like, blah... you're obviously going to get a little unwelcoming with your receptiveness, or you might become a little like a spy agent trying to find out who the fuck they're talking to or doing, you know, because you just know, because you have the women's intuition to know. But be receptive, be warm, be inviting, be the mother, but the sexy one, you know, be the MILF, be the one that's gonna, like, rock his world, but also, like, make a sandwich afterward. And it doesn't literally have to translate to that. It's